We got a great show starting.
For news that smacks you in the face, kicks you in your ass, and makes you want to run down your street with your hair on fire trying to get people's attention, anytime he says, "Holy shit!" you're gonna know about it. Who are we talking about? Veteran tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, legal guru of the hocus pocus, defender of the weak, and the guy who's not gonna back down from any bully. Like a good shepherd, this man has no fear of telling anyone, "Stop being so stupid." From Camp 17 on a beautiful desert prairie in off-grid Colorado, just 14 miles outside of Mount Blanca Peak, project coordinator of the fire department for the Constitution, Patriot Camp, your host with the most liberty on the planet, Rich Edwards.
All right, welcome back to Patriot Camp News. This is Saturday Night Live, August 17th, 7:31 p.m. Mountain Time. All right, welcome everybody. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you need to be aware of. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can probably ignore. My job here, in my opinion, is to sort out what you need to know versus what is a complete waste of your time because it does not affect you. Wouldn't it be great to be able to ignore politicians again? Right now, we obviously can't because they're up to some serious no good, but what's the point of contact? How exactly is any politician able to affect you? Let's face it. They certainly do not want to talk to you unless they're campaigning and need your money, right? Most of them don't even want to be anywhere near you unless it's absolutely necessary. So why are we so afraid of politicians? How is the public servant able to affect you? How is these politicians? Through their subordinates, of course. We're talking about the street level public servant here, right? It could be a desk clerk at the mayor's office or the local cop on the beat trying to make his quota, or any other servant out there that thinks they're in authority and get to push people around. Push people around like you. That's probably the stuff you want to know about, right? Now, here's the thing about that. Even they don't want to talk to you in most cases. You're an annoyance. You're a disruption in their day. All they want to do is give you some orders and get back to doing their real job of killing time. That's what most public servants do. So to summarize this monologue, I'm going to assume that you're working towards some type of an abundant lifestyle. I'm just going to assume that. I would imagine pretty much everyone is. So my job is to give you the information that will empower you most in order to be able to achieve that abundant lifestyle that you are working towards, right? That's what's going to make you want to watch my channel, right? So my plan here as we go forward is to create a couple of different segments of information and also acknowledgement for services rendered, of course, to those who are doing the heavy lifting in protecting your liberty. Because these are the people that you should supporting. You should be supporting them with your views, with your shares, with your time, with your physical effort, if you can actually do that, with your money. I hate to throw that word money around because I'm trying to eliminate money. I'm actually literally trying to eliminate money. Otherwise, I do not want to be sitting here regurgitating mindless headlines just because they have sex appeal. And I have no desire to provide information to you that bleeds so it leads just to get a few more subs on my YouTube channel. I've got too much work to do, and so do you. So I would be irresponsible if I did not provide information that was as streamlined as possible and as most motivational to your personal productivity, right? Which is going to lead to your abundance. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell, and that is right underneath by the subscribe button on the right to get all notifications. And you probably have to resubscribe because that's just the way it works. When you get on YouTube and you start looking up, you actually start hooking up to real information that empowers you. So first off, right off the top of the broadcast, I want to thank everybody that's in attendance here. And then I also want to say thanks and shout out to Annie Karina, who became our first constitutional enforcement facilitator. And that's on the banner there at the bottom. Welcome, Skywatcher Sandra. How's it going? And that is the free bug out package, the entry free bug out package to Camp 17. Now, right now, the entry fee is $400. Once we get our first 4 entries, it's going to go up to $800, I've decided, because you're literally going to be in here with a whole bunch of food growing, okay, in wintertime, by the way, and only have to pay $200 a month with full bathroom, shower, laundry, and all that stuff for $200 a month with an only an $800 membership fee. Can you imagine that? That would be a pretty good deal. I think at that point we would have this ball really kind of smoking along at that point, right? So congrats and thank you to Anika, our first constitutional enforcement facilitator. This is the best thing that you can do. The second best thing you can do, by the way. The first best thing you can do is put boots on the ground and get yourself to a camp, start a camp. Okay? Start a camp and do this. We can show you how to do this and literally actually be profitable. And I don't mean profitable in money. I mean profitable in resources, where your community that you're going to live in, your land that you're living on, you're going to be giving this spectacular deal to people. It's way better than anything they could ever imagine. And yet you're going to be profiting ridiculously in an abundant lifestyle. That's what we're trying to create here, right? And the way we do it is that we have to rein in all of the people out there that want our money. Okay. And we have to hold them accountable if they want, all these fines and fees and all that crap out there that we have to pay. And it's not like they're actually producing anything. They come to you and you have to go there, and like the permission industry, right? The massive multi-trillion-dollar permission industry. And let me tell you, these people sell permission, okay? And I'm not going to name any names or call out any agencies, but these people sell permission. That's what they're in the business to do, and they're all private corporations. So if you go to them with your wallet open and you say, how much permission do I need? They'll be like, all of it. That's what they're going to do. Right? They're going to be like, oh, all of it. How much you got? How much permission you want? So if you want to just get charged for information, then just go ahead and get charged for information. So anyway, okay, so now please share this out if you haven't already. Please smash the like button. It would really be awesome if we can get more participation from the chat, a little bit more back and forth. A couple more questions would be awesome. So what is copyleft? This license and Creative Commons license are pretty much the same. This is because copyleft is the mother license for Creative Commons. This is quite the opposite of copyright. Works are not restricted by any constraint. They can be modified, shared with other users, and content can be copied. Modification of original work may even be commercial. That means you can even make money on it. I don't care. Just get the message out. You don't have to ask me. All right. And I'm not going to hit you with a copyright strike. And I hope more people out there start using this copyleft. Okay, guys? Now, first, right off the top, I'm going to give you a little update on the Garden of Eden project here. Got a couple of videos for you.
Show you my first ripened tomato. Look at that. Off of these tomatoes in the back area, right? That one got Anand's dog came through and took out that tomato plant. And there's some big tomatoes. Big. And then check this out, right? There's that tomato.
All right, and now this is my side garden on the inside of the community center. I guess it's like the front part of the RV on the right, and that's all these tomato plants that have been growing there probably, I guess, about maybe 3 months now. Maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, something like that, and they're like tomato trees now. These suckers are like over 10 feet tall.
That tomato, and then that tomato tree. That just keeps on going
Welcome,
up and
Teresa.
up and up and up, and then there's another one there, and then there's all that there, and then I can zoom out, right, and back up and show you what's going on, man. I mean, like, we're gonna have a tomato forest, okay? Here is what I'm working on, because I'm just starting to get warmed up with, so I'm gonna start hammering in a couple of them PVCs and make a couple of compost tubes, right? So there's some tomatoes. Looks like we got some tomatoes happening. And let's see, do we see any more over here? Here's some more tomatoes. Right there, boom. Yeah, okay. Not much of a cameraman, sorry.
Okay, we're going to have to actually make
that's cool, huh?
An emergency interruption into this broadcast. Not a bad emergency.
Anyway, yep. So yeah, we got some big
but hang on a second, because William just sent me a message.
Working with this, and
I totally want to jump on this like right away. And here it is. William says, well, darn, where is it? William says, absolutely, bro. By the way, middle of next week, okay, got tuned into radio down. If you're going to be on for a little bit, okay. I promise solid gold. First video in a series of videos about America made great and how that was done. Okay, by the way, in the middle of the next week, I'm expecting to drop the first video. This is an announcement from my buddy William Moreau. Okay, so check out his channel. Please go and sub it up. Damned Near Young. Drop your link there, William, and I'll drop it in the or go drop it in the chat, brother. You're a mod, man. Go drop it in the chat over there. When America was made of real values, true face, and stood for something, and how it's okay. So that sounds interesting. Right on. Let's get back to the video.
It's last, right? Because they're indoors, so it might be able to go through the winter and just have fresh tomatoes all throughout the winter. Now, if we aren't able to do that, we can, as you see, we get the first garden barrel. That's what it looks like right there. So far, we got some tomato plants, 2 different kinds, or maybe 3 different kinds of plants in there. Hard to say. The tomato plants, there's some lettuce growing out of there. We got these melons. These are all melons, okay? I don't have an abundance of cucumber seeds, but I think I've got one good big cucumber that if I let it grow big enough in the front garden, I am going to have some free, awesome sweet cuke seeds. So, because I got one good big sweet cuke there. I guess I should probably tie up that tomato plant there. So yeah, I mean, this first garden barrel is looking pretty good. Those are 2 pepper seeds. I'm trying to just start. I just started those in the barrel. I kind of have to start them outside of the barrel. Or these were just basically I took as cuttings and I stuck them in there. That's it. I just took them as cuttings and I stuck them in there. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. I like how this light on this camera automatically went on. That's cool. By the way, I don't know how that worked, but it's cool. Okay, so, and then I'll probably need to put like a little bit more dirt in there, right? See that? Keep putting dirt in there. Don't you it's going to want to, you know, sit down on you. There's one of my ladies right there, okay? And then I've got a ton of tomato transplants going on. I basically take tomatoes and I know how to do the cuttings with them, and then I need to learn how to do
Thank you,
cuttings
Teresa.
with other stuff, and then there's a certain season,
And thanks for being
where
here.
I can do my tomatoes, and where it's like in February, then we can do a whole bunch of tomato cuttings and get real professional with it and do like hundreds of them. And then if you're doing hundreds of them at $4 or $5 a plant, what is that, right? If that's hundreds, $4 or $5 a plant, now you're talking $400 or $500, right? That you can make just on tomato cuttings. So, and then I've got another cucumber plant that I rescued out of that side garden that
And then now, just experimentally, what I've done is I've been putting some tomato plants out at the side of the road there. I put about 16 total. I only got paid for 3 of them. I made $10. And the rest of them got either stolen or eaten by rabbits or something like that. But it was an interesting experiment. And then I'm like a quarter mile from the corner where I put the plants out. So I think if I actually put them on a nice, a decent table, and I put a sign there, because I had no sign either, it's just I just basically was out there, and if I seen somebody, hopefully, I'd wave at them. And this one guy, my friend Greg, by the way, shout out to Greg that dropped by and bought it. I did the 3 for $10. That's what I'm kind of probably looking at doing. I probably do like $4 each or 3 for $10, right? So I made $10, and I wasn't trying really really hard. And but if we could actually have a table out there and have a sign on it, maybe it might work out a little bit better, so that then the rabbits aren't taking off with a couple of the tomato plants, because that's what happened really. Is a couple of them got hit by rabbits.
It was a brand new side garden, but it wasn't getting enough light on the inside here. That's got to expand. We got a couple of large cukes right there. This is like an awesome panoramic camera, because I'm right up against this, and it's still, that's pretty. I mean, I have to zoom a lot of times to get stuff with this camera, so I do like the camera on this little phone here.
Oh yeah, I know that line about being busy,
anyway,
man.
Okay, so that's what we've got going on. And
God, man, I am like so overwhelmed right now. I didn't do any wheelbarrows today. I'm 36 wheelbarrows behind as of tomorrow now. So, but I did a whole bunch of other stuff. So now tomorrow maybe I could just knock out wheelbarrows. And like, I'm not exactly sure where I want to dig. I dug under the front. I actually didn't do an update on that. I dug under the front of the RV.
Obviously,
I'm talking over myself now.
It's going to have to be filled with more dirt, right?
All the way to the middle. I got a crawl space under the RV for the rocket stove, all the way to the middle, man.
I've got my first tomato cutting that I just stuck in there this morning. And that actually looks healthier than it.
And that's the second garden barrel, all filled up and ready to plant.
Looks okay. We're gonna.
So I want to get 4 garden barrels going up here.
Right here. I gotta remember to look at the screen, guys. Sorry. A lot of times I'm just waving the camera around and I don't know what the video looks like. But that sprig should grow, okay? And then there you go. Like, I should probably douse that with a little bit of water right now. In order to make sure that it grows, so that it happens, right? And there you go. So make it happen now. That's what we're doing. We're going to grow a bunch of food and have it growing year round. And it's all fresh all the time. You just run around and just pick it.
And then what I did is I actually took the dirt out of the other failed side garden because it wasn't getting enough sun. I went and made that whole bed. So basically that bed of dirt, I didn't have to do any extra work. I just went and dumped all the dirt right in there. I had some worms from the well. Shout out to Anon I've got a bunch of shout outs actually. Shout out to T Anon. Okay, I got a couple of Anons now, so I got to give them all, at least letters, right? So I want to shout out to Tia Nan for taking me to the well the other day, all the other stuff that he's been doing. He's got his buddy there that he doesn't mind sitting here with me while him and me go and do some stuff. So we've got that happening right now. And then shout out to Rana and Kia for the trailer tires, man. We got new trailer, new to me anyway, trailer tires, big ones, man. I got to do some video of that. That'll be in the update. I need to do just a basic GOU update for 17. And then we've got, let's see, TC and I want to say, for obviously just free heady, man, because he knows I don't spend money on it. So if I'm out, man, I don't have any. And you know, you guys that smoke, right? You know when you're out and you don't have any money, and you know, I don't, even if I have money, I don't spend money on that. That's just my rule for myself out here. I came out to Colorado to not spend money on it anymore, right? So shout out to TC Anon for that, brother. I really, God bless you, man. And I don't see myself, you know, charging you for any tomatoes or cucumbers or, you know, not too many of them anyway, right? And I mean, that's the thing, man. I mean, all we need to do is like abundance. It's all about abundance. If we can create if you have an abundance of resources, like if I have like too many tomatoes here and we have an overflow, and then people aren't even buying my tomatoes anymore, right? Or they're not getting them for work credits, because that's what I'd actually rather have almost in many cases. I mean, it is good to have a little bit of cash for some of those things that you can't right now convert into the honor system immediately. But I'm digressing here, so let's get back to the video.
Pick it and eat it. That's my dream of abundance for you, for me. So yeah, think about getting involved. Guys, sorry. A lot of times I'm just waving the camera around and I don't know what the video looks like. But that sprig should grow, okay? And then there you go. Like, I should probably douse that with a little bit of water right now in order to make sure that it grows, so that it happens, right? And there you go. So make it happen now. That's what we're doing. We're going to grow a bunch of food and have it growing year round. And it's all fresh all the time.
These are neighbors I'm talking about,
That's my
Teresa.
dream of abundance for you, for me. So yeah, think about getting involved in this. All right. God bless the Patriots.
Okay, there's that. Next, we've got the outside garden update, I believe.
Okay, here it is, the front garden. Hopefully there's not too much wind so that you can hear me out here. But there's the broccoli. We've got a lot of cucumbers happening right now. So hopefully going to have a bunch of cucumbers. It seems like I'm starting to get a little bit more pollination now and stuff. There's another.
How's everything sounding? How are my audio levels, my desktop audio versus my mic level? Are we all 5x5? I made a few adjustments, tried to make sure I got everything today. It's not as easy as it looks.
Cucumber, there's another cucumber. We got a couple big ones. There's a fairly big one. There's another fairly big one.
I need to get the hang. I need to go slower with the camera when I'm running around showing people stuff, right? I'm like, here's the update. Okay, there you go.
On the outside,
I'm not here for entertainment level. I'm like, here's where we're at, you know?
Okay, these are melons. Those are going to be melons. I don't know. We're going to see if we're going to get some melons or not. I am getting a
peach
ton
trees,
of
awesome
tomatoes here, as you can see, right? Just got to wait for them to ripen.
Hey, Sandra, can you somehow?
That's pretty crazy, huh? This particular
you can email me some. You can mail me some cuttings of peach trees, right?
So, right. Got to clone up a bunch of that, and then you've got this big ass cucumber right here. Now that needs to obviously be like. I'd love for that thing to get about twice as fat, or at least 50% fatter, because then you've got good seeds for planting, and that would be like probably right. I mean, two packages of seeds. So then I'd be able to, because I only bought one package, and then I've spent a lot of money on it. It was like $3 for a stupid little package of seeds, man. So
with like 30 seeds in it.
That's going to be something that's
And you think about that, you get a
extremely
cucumber. How many
important
seeds
to
are in a
have,
freaking
man.
cucumber? Isn't that's
for your
amazing?
Patriot camp.
That they just dry out some seeds and
Get your
mark it up
Patriot
like
camp
what 500% or something.
So are you
crazy.
gonna? When are you gonna get your Patriot camp started? That's what I want to know. You know, and then you can come and join my Patriot camp if you want. You know, if you don't want to start your own. There's the first.
Oh man, Sandra, if you could
here.
somehow figure a way to box it up so that the cuttings will survive. You know what I mean? And probably just put it in some moist dirt.
And I mean, this is the first.
And if they could go
this
2
is the
day,
second year,
right?
And then the first
then
year
they could
wasn't
probably
really,
get here,
like,
and I could
really
get them
fill
started.
This garden up the first year, but this is the second.
And then it's
year
all
on this
basically
garden.
free
So
except for
probably,
shipping
like,
charges.
Next year, we're gonna really be able to produce a whole lot out of this garden. There's some more.
See, you don't even have to
broccoli right there.
Let me stop this for a minute.
All right, there's some more broccoli happening, right?
All right, so you don't even have to worry about what was I about to say here, right? The thing about you don't even have to wait until you have peaches and apples, because the abundance can start actually when you start cloning and you get really good at cloning, and then you can start throwing out 20, 30 clones for people to buy. Now you can sell those clones for $10, very, very, very cheap. $10. Okay. Go anywhere else, you're going to pay at least 20 for a nice, 30. Okay. For a peach or an apple tree like this, right? That's, I don't know, 3 feet high. You're going to pay a lot of money for that. The squirrels eat my garlic. We need to know a solution for squirrels eating garlic. Plums. What about the plums, Teresa? You got some plums, Teresa? See, man, we could get to abundance so quickly, and like people don't need to make a ton of monetary donations. I mean, if you have stuff in your yard, what I'm trying to do is get a bunch of stuff growing here, right? So if you have stuff in your yard that, blueberries or raspberries or something like that, man, boom. It doesn't take a lot of money to get this thing to like an abundant thing to where we have all this stuff that I'm actually be able to market out of here. Now we can get a little bit of cash, and now we can get an air compressor and this and that and the other thing, right? So we can start doing some aircrete. That's what the air compressor is all about. How do you clone a fruit tree? Basically you can get lucky by pretty much taking it and cutting it, and then you just stick it in water for a few days. Try and work, mess with the pH a little bit, and then hope maybe you might get a little bit of root growth, and then after 3 days you stick it in dirt, right? And then you keep the dirt well watered, and then just hopefully it starts happening. And then also it helps to have it on a 24-hour light cycle when you're trying to clone. Definitely helps. Okay. And then, by the way, that's one of the things that I don't have a luxury of, like an abundance of right now, is power to go 24/7 with like lights and stuff like that. If we had, but we don't need any more solar panels. We don't need any more wind turbine for that. What we need is just another battery, so that we would actually double our backup capacity, which is that's when it's most needed, is at night, because there's not a lot of sun. And most of my powers I say I got 400 watts of solar and 400 watts of turbine, but I totally don't believe that thing is pulling 400 watts. So that turbine. So anyway. Oh, I did that with knotweed. There you go. Yeah. I mean, and then also they have rooting solutions you can use. And then there's also this thing on Amazon. Can I find a cloner? Yeah, let me find a cloner on Amazon real quick. And don't buy from Amazon. I'm not advertising Amazon. But and I don't actually have to say that, right? I can just say cloning machine. All right. You go to cloning machine. Best aeroponic and cloning machines. Now, these are well worth the money, man. I don't have one, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that these are well worth the money. And I'm trying to find you pictures, what I'm doing here real quick on the fly, unplanned. But it's basically like a black tray, and you stick the little sprigs in there, and it does like a misting thing underneath, and it's like an aeroponics station, and you keep that on 24-hour lights with the misting underneath, and then that's the best way to clone. And then you can use root solution in that case, but I'm saying you probably ain't gonna need it there that much. Okay. So anyway, that's how you do that, right? That's some unexpected information I wasn't planning to reveal. But so here we go. Let's get back to this.
Anything happening?
My
there
broccoli.
yet? No. But these stalks are looking really healthy. They're looking like I want to like chomp into it, right? And then there's all my spinach happening. I've been eating spinach a lot, right? I'm due for a couple bowls of spinach, obviously, as you can see, because it's growing a lot, right? I got to come out here and graze some more. Look at how much spinach is growing, and I'm working on getting more spinach growing on the inside there, right? I kind of there was a fail.
So not bad for out in the middle of the desert,
huh? In that first garden barrel, so I'm gonna have to start some in the egg carton.
We're just getting warmed up. Just got to adjust.
A lot of seeds.
The thing about it is the land out in these remote places that nobody wants, all you need is a spot. That's all you need. You don't need to have a spot that has all the great stuff on it. You can go to a spot and you can create everything yourself, man. And then if we have 20, 30 people all creating in the same spot, man, how fast could we really do? I mean, in 10 years, right? Teresa, right? Sandra, I'm talking to you guys because we're talking about the cloning and stuff. How fast can we create a paradise out in the middle of freaking nowhere, right? Because that's where the really, really cheap land is. We got to get off the debt money system. Okay. And that means not going and getting another place somewhere else where you're, 100 grand, 300 grand, you owe it for 30 years. You got an electric bill and all these other bills, man. That is not sustainable. That is definitely not a way to get to abundance. That is a way to remain in servitude, really, to everything. I never dreamed you could do it. I thought the dirt was dead, but look at it grow. Amazing. Awesome, Teresa. Boom. Hell yeah. Look at me. Look at that. You got me all blushing and red in the face right now. Yeah. Validation, right? So now the thing is that, this is a second year, and then you just got to do a third year. There's ways to plant in anything. You can plant in soil that has nothing in it. All you got to do is just you get your compost going, you get your paper and your worms, and then get that stuff get stuff growing in there. And then as soon as as soon as the soil develops a root system, now you can grow stuff in it, right? I want to come, but I have a grandson I raise, and I hate heat. Well, it's not really that bad. This is not that hot here. I mean, because I basically go to the basement down here. It's kind of like not really a basement and all, but it's my office during the hot part of the day in Colorado. I'm 8 feet underground where I'm at right now. Okay. So if it's hot outside, I don't feel heat when it's hot outside. It's cool in here. It's cool. I've got the temperatures regulate really well because it's based on Earthship technology, because it's like underground, right? But the real Earthships are going to be the ones we start doing out here. As soon as we get done with the rocket stove, then it's on to Earthships. And then the rocket stove is going to be able to heat this massive, it's going to be 1,000 square feet of greenhouse indoor when we're done here. Okay, because I'm designing this community to feed 30 patriots, and if I got to do it all myself and then just charge them, okay, because they'll pay when everything's going on, they're gonna pay. Okay, they're gonna pay whatever I decide to charge, pretty much. If I want to pay $200 a month, maybe $300 a month, I could probably charge as much as $400 or $500 a month, right? To come here, live in an Earthship, there are people that are charging way more than that, actually, okay, to go live in an Earthship where everything's growing. And, 20 hours a month is your commitment here, by the way. 20 hours a month for every individual, and it's $400, right? is the entry fee currently right now until we get 4 people. And I'm talking to a bunch of people still. Nobody's pulled the trigger. I have like 2 people that's supposed to be like en route. And I'm like, hello, is there an update? It's like weird, man. It's like the way out in front of me. I can never reach it, right? Because if I get this first $400, then I can get an air compressor, and then we can maybe thinking about getting real close to a second battery, man, and then start making aircrete, and then so much more resources available because for the greenhouse, okay, when I was talking about being able to sell seedlings, if you get the clones to start growing and then you can actually put them in your own pot, now you've got a cool pot to sell them in, and that stuff is almost free if you start making aircrete pots. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing with the aircrete when we start doing that. And then the other major thing that's going to happen with the aircrete is we're going to put a roof on this entire community center and catch a ton of water. I'm catching close to maybe 20% of the water that's hitting the current roof right now that I'm using on plants. Then you've got the roof on this side that's just got the tar paper on it right now, and I can't use that. I'm not gonna use that water on my plants because it's got a nastiness to it. So what I need to do is use the aircrete, and then that's going to make all this water useful for everything, actually, because the water, when it hits it's pretty clean out here in Colorado, 8,000 feet up on the prairie. So anyway, moving on. I'm digressing a little bit. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody. Let's see. Shout if you're on. Okay, and then here's how I do my seedlings for the barrels, right? And then now
Okay.
this is really valuable information, man, because anybody, man, I urge you to please do this and stop spending less dollars. Please spend less dollars. Go get a garden barrel, man. So all you need is like a few extra square feet, like, I don't know, what is that, 9 square feet roughly? In order to have, buy a window, buy like a corner window would be awesome, right? If you had like a window with 2 corners that was real good, you put your garden barrel right there, and then you could be feeding yourself. You could be majorly supplementing your food bill and putting a major dent. Every single garden barrel that goes into every small apartment or anywhere else, anywhere, where it is a huge blow to the banksters, because you're self-sufficient, you're feeding yourself, you're not going to be on their,
Okay.
you're not going to be dependent on them.
Now I just recently had a fail because I just wasn't paying attention and I wasn't watering it. So now we're going again, and I just planted a bunch of stuff in these, right? And then these little tiny, this tiny size right here is going to fit good in those slots, right? You can then fit them in the slots once they start growing. I think that might be a marigold, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. Shout out to Rhonda, who dropped off a whole bunch of seeds. I got to plant this spinach right there. That's actually what I was working on. That's what those holes are for. All this other stuff is planted. Or no, I planted spinach in that. That's right. I got to probably start labeling these better, right, guys? But you know what it is when it starts coming out, right? Somebody wants to come here and get all technical labeling stuff. That's cool. That'd be cool.
No more money to the 13 bloodlines, Teresa says. Amen to that. That's right, man. No more of our labor energy. You have to think about it as your labor energy. That's what money is. They look like muffins. Okay. Let's see. All right, so we are on to some news here. Some of the major news we've got coming, really heavy stuff going on. Oregon Senate Republicans leave the state to avoid climate bill vote. Now, Governor Kate Brown has actually dispatched the Oregon State Troopers to go round up the missing Republicans. Now, then when I read that headline, then it looked like it was a little bit more of a clickbait deal. Okay, but I do still find this pretty interesting because she actually did involve the Oregon State Police, and I think they actually did. I think the Governor Brown here, actually wanted cuffs thrown on these people, but they're like negotiating back and forth with these Republicans that I think the majority of them have left the state in order to avoid having a vote on this climate change bill. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, then you know that climate change is a fraud. Okay, it's absolute ridiculous fraud. So there's absolutely no scientific evidence backing, no real scientific nothing scientific backing up climate change whatsoever. The theory that we as human beings need to change our behavior. Now, if it was okay, I'm gonna finish that thought in mid-sentence and go move on to this one. If it was, then I would say that we should get rid of, automobiles, okay? And then we should have not automobiles, but have automobiles that run on anti-gravity, because many folks know that we already have anti-gravity. And then if we had anti-gravity, then we wouldn't have a need to spend all this money on these roads, right? We could pretty much just have like a paved whatever. I mean, it wouldn't even have to be paved. It could be like a grassy, just a flat area that our land speeder goes over. Okay. So if you're worried about climate change, okay, if you're out there and you're one of the leftists, which I call them the wrongists, okay, because you just don't have enough information yet. But basically, it's like if you're worried about climate change, I would be clamoring for the release of anti-gravity technology. We've had it since like 1954. This is in my group here called Boots on the Ground. This is basically part of the Boots on the Ground segment. We'll get a little bit more professional with this, but I want to start addressing some of these people that are doing, and Auditing America, I go to him a lot. I like his stuff. I like how he operates. And he's very educational for not just you and me, but the public servant. Okay. So I want to play this part right here because it's like really compelling.
Here we go. This human trafficking. And
Human trafficking.
Things, human trafficking, and
Is that happening in the mayor's office?
They use videos to use other people's looks.
Okay,
to
how are we?
Frighten me. I'm very frightened. You know what, officer? I am frightened to death of these people.
Oh.
And I think they should be removed from.
Oh my.
This woman is now get an EMT here. Now I wonder if there's anybody having a heart attack at the same time.
Have you ever heard of freedom of the press?
I have.
Okay, so we have freedom of the press. We're actually doing a constitutionally protected activity. We're taxpayers on what we do. So,
She's saying that you need assistance right now.
rating officer.
Could we go out here and talk? I don't want to.
Well, just
See if I'm in the green again. Sorry about that, guys. And anyways, on that note, hey, Captain Ned, what's happening, my brother? 21 is fully in play. I'm going to need you to elaborate on that comment. Yeah, so, okay, moving on here. We got I just wanted to explain this little symbol right here. You've got this symbol right here. Okay, that is the sign. That's the logo for Patriot, for Pyrabang. That was the company I ran 10 years ago, a media company. And what it is the capstone right here, it's the triangle, it's a pyramid, okay, with the capstone cut off, flipped over so that it now stands upright, and then you can put a crown on it. That's the logo, and I'm going to redo that logo and start using it a little bit more, because that's the solution right there. Okay, is to put the people back on top again. Idiocity rules the world, right? And we are smart people, aren't we, Sandra? We know how to do lots of stuff. How many politicians know how to do what we do? Seriously. I mean, are they going to be able to like clone stuff? Or I mean, really, like most of these people, they're completely clueless, disgustingly completely clueless, right? So anyway, we are the news now. Please share this out. Let's get some more people involved. This is a really great broadcast so far, due to your participation. So should the Constitution have a fire department? Is that a good question? Now, your rights are very important. Now, fire, when your house burns down, it's a tragedy, and you have basically the time that it takes to put the house out, and then that's the tragedy is going on all that time, and then now you have the once it's over, like the next day or even just a few hours later, now you can pick up the pieces from that tragedy and put your life back together. You're free to do that. Now, if you have your rights violated, that's a much more serious problem than your house burning down, in my opinion. Because once your rights are being violated, for example, for me, I was sitting in 9 months on pretrial, 17,500. Anybody ever seen my house knows that's excessive bail. Okay, and then after 9 months, after 7 months, they finally reduced it down to 1,000. Okay, it was $17,500 bond I was in there for, and completely innocent. But every single morning you wake up, okay, and your rights have been violated, and you're in this tragedy that continue. It's like your house burning down every single day. So what I want to do is create the fire department for the Constitution, and that could be you. All right, and then a lot of people got a fear of maybe coming out to a camp, starting a camp. Especially when the concept is so new, right? Because maybe they still don't know if I'm gonna, people are just gonna overrun me and start executing me, and whoever else might be here, because there's only a couple people so far, But I mean, I think that's just like an irrational fear. So you should expose yourself to your deepest fear, and then after that, you are free. Jim Morrison. There is so much fear out there that needs to be addressed right now, and the man that lives in fear dies 1,000 deaths. That's I think it's a Chinese proverb or something like that. And then you've got from the Highlander, he says the only thing, no, it's something about fear. He says, fear is to warn us of the danger, not make us afraid of it. No need to fear, the ghost patriot. And then you've got shout out to, who is it that says, fear not. The creator is firmly in control, right? Okay, so you should fear not. Just do what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, if you're sitting on your butt every day, if you're not getting up and speaking out against certain things, if you're going to sit back and watch, then you probably do got a reason to be afraid, because we're probably not going to win if you do not start getting out of your box and doing something more. Okay, right? And then one thing that I'm looking to do, okay, folks, is that even if you want to use some sort of an audio changer, I don't care, man, but I'm looking for a co-host for this show. All right. So if you want to be a co-host on the show, that would be really awesome to go back and forth. I have been talking with, shout out to Kristen. Shout out to Kristen in the Discord. Let me see. We've been going back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Let me get you the Discord here so you can see what I'm looking at. All right. And the Discord is available by the We Are the News Now. You can chat in here right now, and it'll go live in the description there. It's the We Are the News Now hashtag. So if any of the mods want to put that in there, if any people want to be mods, shout out to me. Let me know you want to be a mod, and I'm going to go on over there and mod you up, more than likely, because we are pretty much all pretty cool here. So anyway, that's Kristen Love. Awesome. Let's see, how do I want to describe her ability to research information? It's very refreshing to see somebody a lot like me, really, that's you just don't buy it. You just don't buy it, man. We're not going to buy fake narratives, man. I want the truth, man. There's so many people that are tired of the truth. So one of the things that I want to talk about with respect to the truth is you got this Donald Trump thing happening right now, man. And I don't know, man. I don't know if is he going to take away our guns or not. All right. I urge you to do a search for gun control hashtag right now out there. Okay. And see how many people are actually a little bit afraid that Trump is thinking about maybe taking away your guns. Okay. Because I don't see a ton of concern out there. All right. And then somebody like me could very easily be determined to be like mentally unstable or something like that, even though I've already got 2 previous PhD documents that say that I'm not crazy. Okay, one 10 years ago and one was it 2-3 years ago. Okay, during the recent debacle. Okay, when they tried to haul me, basically, they did. They hauled me off my property. They let everything get stolen. I digress. Moving on. So, if you are afraid, if you still have too much fear to go out and physically participate, this is the best way you can do to implement the Patriot Camp Network. Okay, this is how we're going to build a Patriot, where this is going to be one of the best funding sources for us, I hope. And that's the Patreon, $10 a month. Constitutional Enforcement Facilitator, and I just updated the headline, the header here. Should the Constitution have a fire department? It's got the Constitution on fire. These are the real people that, like, you got High Desert Community Watch. Shout out to Auditing America. I mean, there's so many other just really awesome. There's hundreds of First Amendment auditors out there, and what Patriot Camp will be, and I put them out there as an example of that Patriot Camp is a real thing that could work. There's their evidence that Patriot Camp is possible. Okay, because now if they get backed up, they get thrown into jail or something like that, and you see them, they're doing the buddy system, they're buddying up. In that other one, they had like 2 or 3 people with cameras. Okay, but imagine now if it gets to like 6 or 7 people with cameras, or maybe you start out with just one guy with a camera. No problem. We could have one guy with a camera now if we've got a Patriot Camp, one guy with a camera over here, one guy with a camera over here. We can send them out in satellite, right? And then boom, hotline, I got a problem, man. And then boom, 6 cameras show up at your location. That's how we need to do basically protecting your rights. That's what we have to do. We don't have to have politicians, man. We don't need politicians anymore. So if you want to literally build the Patriot Camp Network, if you want Liberty Insurance, okay, this is going to be your Liberty Insurance for $10 a month. But disclaimer, it's not Liberty Insurance yet, because we have to actually build the infrastructure. We have to actually have people living in Patriot camps with no other job other than defending your right, and their 20 hours a month commitment to getting food growing, getting automation going on, tending animals, all the stuff that we're going to do to be able to, be self-sufficient, so that you don't have a tax government agency that's not going to work anyway, that's supposedly going to defend your rights. And then really, literally, there's no reason to donate money to a politician anymore. This is what you should be doing. Okay. And honestly, I wish there were a whole bunch more other coordinators that are competing with me. Okay. And people out there, and we're all going, I can provide the best quality of life. I want that's going to be our sales pitch. Okay. All over the place. It's going to be, I can provide the best quality of life for you if you will just come and spend 20 hours a month laboring in my community. Imagine that. Because I believe that it could be all that simple. Because why? We got so many different forms of automation now. It's ridiculous. We don't need AI, okay? An anonymous disclosure of information to take down the deep state cabal. Q. And this is a shout out to DDEES.com, DDEES.com. They got a lot of awesome artwork over there. It is distribution. It's copyleft, man. Shout out to another copyleft guy out there. And look at that. So much stuff in one picture, right? I mean, most of that stuff I can't say because I'm going to get CEN sword, man. Shout out to Donald J. Trump. Americans can do anything, go anywhere, outperform anyone. Nobody can beat us. Nothing can stop us because winning is what Americans do. And then this was my reply to that, right? And then if you guys want to retweet that would be like really cool, because nobody ever sees my tweets. It's just ridiculous, and I'm losing followers like on the day. It's like a sieve. But anyway, I said, because, sir, they are free to do so and are acting on their own inclination. There is no coercion. There is only desire. Liberty. Whoops. Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't flip back over to the browser. Okay, so because, sir, they are free to do so and are acting on their own inclination. There is no coercion, there is only desire. Liberty is the natural state of humanity. Okay, do you agree with that? If you do, jump into the Discord there and please retweet that, man, because I get no action on my Twitter. It's just ridiculous how bad it is, man. How CEN sword I am, man. Now, there was another. It's coming up. It's coming up, and I'm going to shout out to this channel. I'm going to shout out quite a few channels because I have a wide base of information where I get my information from, right? So I want you to be able to actually source from the same information. Shout out to Truth Stream Media. These guys are freaking awesome. And man, they're not going to waste your time. I mean, they're going to literally stuff your mind with the information. Like it's almost like when you think about it, when you get online and you want to start researching and finding stuff out, it's like you're plugging something in and then you're wanting to download at a certain speed, right? If you got to watch this video that's like an hour long to learn one small fact that probably could have taken 2 minutes to tell you, then that guy's wasting your time, or those people are wasting your time. All right. Truth Stream Media is not going to waste a lot of your time. So please go on over there and subscribe to them. And I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the Discord too right now in the main discussion chat. And then I'll put it over and restream to the Truth Stream. Okay. And then we'll get to this one part of this video. Are we creating our own overlords? And it's like, man, I'm like, man, I need to, it's hard to pick which one from TrueStream to play because they're all so friggin' important to watch. So I would definitely say you got to go over there and just bone up on some of this stuff and make sure you're up on it, right? Blazing Eyes says, don't forget about Marfugal. No, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be shouting out Marfugal here shortly. And by the way, you know what? Let's do that right now since you're reminding me, because I want to talk about and that is that's actually in my show notes. So other like-minded YouTube servers over here on Marfugal, guys, okay? If you could do me a favor and show that some love over here, and I'll show you on the if you're in it. It's hard to get into Marfugal's Discord. You got to actually get clearance. They got to vet you a little bit. You get on their email list and ask to be on the server. So that there we are right there. Other like-minded servers. Shout out to Marfugal Zone. God bless you guys. I really appreciate it, man. So much, because we basically just like refreshed our PatriotCamp server, right? With a lot more really cool people. We had some major trolls issues that we were dealing with, man. And I think I had one guy that was working with 12 different IDs against me. So anyway, please go on over there and show that some love, and put some little reactions on there. That would be awesome if you would do that. And then we're also here on Fugal Family YouTube channels, okay, at PatriotCamp 17. So God bless all the guys over there, Adam and Dex and Mama and Lisa. God, man, saying last but definitely not least. I mean, mostly not least. All right, Lisa. So where are we now? Let's get back to the browser over here. And I wanted to play a little bit of this Truth Stream Media for you. I've got it queued up at 26 minutes, and I'm claiming this is fair use policy to use.
When they go in the other room, right, because they're going to have a conversation and they think Hal's not listening, but then Hal is using video cues, video characteristics to read the lips of the astronauts and know what they're trying to secretly talk about.
Uh-oh.
I mean, this is that, only you've now put it in your home. And it goes up.
I might not be able to, maybe I have to change the 240 for. All right, sorry about this, guys. Yeah, we have a coming internet upgrade in about 2 weeks here. So it's going to be very, very exciting.
It is an epidemic now.
There's a problem of teenage suicide. There's somebody who's building an app that will, again, with the permission of the parents and so forth and so on, detect changes in the teenager's behavior.
Come on now. Don't be stubborn.
And alert the psychologist or the counselor that maybe there's a problem here.
And so the answer to that, what the technocrat answer for that is going to be to continuously monitor your children within your house via these intelligent, conscious home devices, which will be continuously monitoring emotional states via voice and video recording and all of that, and then infer what that is, and then
the bottom line here about this video that I want to get across, the point I want to get across to you is that, do you want to create your reality to be? And you know, it was somebody that shouted out about the Amish, saying, hey, you should get with the, you know, Amish, talk to them some more about how to run a community and stuff. And it's like, look, I'm not trying to do it like the Amish necessarily, okay, but we need to go off and start getting into our own independent, self-sufficient communities that are going to be able to resist this kind of controlled narrative realities, right?
Send out reports about what's going on. These are things way beyond that one example. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think people think about that. So the computer's going to be smart enough to use contextual cues of individual occupants to infer emotional states. If you're crying, it means you're sad. Laughing means you're happy, but it goes beyond that. Because the computer is going to be able to infer from your head nodding up and down, if you're in an agreeable state, for example, or whatever, right?
I believe very strongly that the world will be a much, much safer place.
And it goes into all of these different things that are going to be continuously monitored. Optical indicators of facial expressions, activity, elevated voices means you're fighting.
And buffer right now.
Eventually, the system's going to learn all kinds of things about you. It says, for example, the system may know that Sue cries both when she's happy and when she's sad. Accordingly, the system may discern that an inference of Sue's emotional state based upon crying alone would be weak. So then it'll know that she's crying, and then it'll start monitoring her more intensely to try and figure out what her emotional state really is.
Hold on a minute, guys.
So it's going to be looking at facial expressions and analyzing those. And it says, upon inferring the emotional state of the occupant, the system may report and or record the findings for subsequent use. So that's great. I'm sure a lot of people want to have recordings of their most fragile private moments being analyzed and held onto in clouds by major corporations and this system. For example, the findings may be used in household reporting, near real-time notification, or may be used to control smart devices in the home.
We have taken control of this house, the lights, the security cameras.
Well, we know when Penny gets really upset, she might get in the car and drive erratic. Better lock her in her smart house so she can't leave, you know? I mean, do I think lives could be saved using such a system? I'm not saying that it couldn't be, but how much freedom are people willing to give up?
Thank you very much.
This is a question we've been asking for years.
Stuff, Sandra,
how
isn't
much
it?
freedom
Welcome,
are you willing
Blazing
to give
Eyes.
up
Thanks for being
for
here.
this feeling of security?
Take your places, please. Right. Let's see which one of us can touch his toes.
Because in this world we're about to head into, it's going to be a lot. You're going to be giving up an awful lot of your privacy and your liberty to live in this world that gives you this, I guess, computer-driven sense of security. Which, is it going to work? We haven't seen that yet. But it also says that the system will be contextual data can also, in one embodiment, include audio signatures to indicate if bullying is going on. So they can hook the system up to keywords. And if those keywords are said,
we need to move now, people. This is so important that we all get up off our asses and get together and get interdependent and fix this from happening to us, because they want to control us and they're losing their power and they're scared to death. Okay. And Georgia Guidestones, man, they're looking to eliminate 95% of the population. You got stuff where I've seen that they're talking about, you know, future of the population in the United States is 60 million. I've seen Navy maps where you've got the New Madrid fault line and the San Andreas fault line both basically getting hit. And, you know, we have something like, I don't know, we lose like 33% of our land in literally the dirt in the United States of America. And I actually think that all that all that stuff that was the geo activity that was happening a couple of weeks ago was probably an attempt to take out those faults, because the quote unquote deep state, right, is, man, they are pulling out all the stops now, right? I mean, they have to start a civil war in order to take down Americans so that Russia and China can move in and mop us up. All right. So now I want to throw that out there for folks. So, you know, while we got this moment to talk about it, right, is that civil war equals China-Russia invasion, and we're all effed. So I see a lot of people out there that they when they talk about civil war, I don't see them even aware of foreign countries, possible foreign countries that may be a threat to us. I really want you to think about that. If you're thinking about, I'm ready for the Civil War, I'm prepped, you know, we need to prevent the Civil War. If we cannot prevent a civil war, we're screwed, guys. Is there anyone that disagrees with me? Please comment if you do. Blazing Eye says the Rothschild are using nanobots to kill us all. The delivery okay, well, you know, you're making me move my broadcast all around because I happen to already address that. Let's go ahead and address that. Where is it about the nanobots? I was actually on with if you want to drop a link to that channel, because if you're on D Live, you can actually drop links, and I'm happy to mod folks up. I got to mod up Sandra, and we'll get that. We'll make that happen here. But I actually have to go over there live. You have to come up really, you know, come on before the show, and I'll mod you up. That's what I'm going to do. All right, guys. All right, so it says, would an EMP disable nanobots? Now, this is an interesting twist on this whole nanobots thing. Now, if you got nanobots in you and they want to be able to use them, can they use an EMP on us? Could this explain why they haven't used an EMP? Have you asked yourself why an EMP hasn't been used yet? Because it seemed like, you know, bam, all we got to do is just, you know, blast one friggin' EMP, you know, and then we're going to eliminate all that population that we want to eliminate, right? Most of it. And it would be pretty easy to defeat the United States because of just the ridiculous amount. Yeah, go ahead and drop a link, Blazing Eyes. You can drop the link, right? On D Live over there, you can just drop links. So, and then on if you're on YouTube, you have to be modded up to drop links. I don't want to buffer right now to have to go over to the control room and mod you up. All right. So yeah, Dana Ashley is where I was watching that video. So I do want to shout out her channel. Please go over there and sub her up. She's got like over 110,000 subscribers. I'd love to get on Dana Ashley's channel. If you guys could, you know, email her and talk to her about Patriot Camp and what Vince Edwards is doing out here in Colorado, trying to create a model for patriots to be able to live self-sustain and protect their rights, and hopefully eliminate as many people in government as possible. Not by killing them, I'm saying by bringing them into our communities, right? Creating these, I mean, look, most people can do 20 hours a month. Okay, that's a great segue from being politician to becoming, you know, they could be Patriot Camp. We could teach them how to self-sustain, how to do all that stuff that they should be doing instead of being politicians, right? That would be like major work towards the solution, I think, right? So anyway, yeah. So EMP, what he says about the answer to this if you have nanobots in you, right? He says, given modern and likely near-term future materials technology, I'd say yes. Any nanoscale machine would be difficult, if not impossible, to harden against EMP. Let me see if I can make that a little bigger for you. Okay. In fact, the robust nanobots of fiction are a good long ways from happening. BS. Bullshit. Anything we build on that scale now would be very vulnerable to heat, UV, etc. Okay. So if there are nanobots, I mean, you can probably EMP yourself. Possibly. I don't know how healthy that is. I don't know, what are the effects on the human body from a relatively low grade EMP. Okay. So maybe we could build like an EMP booth, right? So we could just I don't know. But I mean, then how easy is it to get reinfected, right? I mean, this stuff is like supposedly in the air, right? In these chemtrails. And then now another thing that I can't pull it up for you right now, but I'm thinking of it. I saw it earlier today. Somebody says Ba plus Al equals BAL. Barium and aluminum. That's what they're spraying in the atmosphere. Think about that for a minute, right? Okay, so I'm bouncing all around. We're gonna get to the Hong Kong protests here. I got a bunch of stuff on that, but why don't we get to this Google machine learning fairness whistleblower goes public, says burden lifting off my soul. Really, really, really awesome latest whistleblower on Project Veritas. Please go over there and sub up Project Veritas if you haven't already.
Android phones. And what they're doing is that they're saying, okay, well, Newsbusters, The Gateway Pundit, National Enquirer, Media Matters, InfoWars, they're not going to appear, on their search results. And they're telling people that, oh, they don't have any blacklist. This is all done. They don't have any political ideology. They don't have any political bias. But it's really clear that they do. And, if Google wants to have political bias and they want to say that they've got political bias, that is their right as a company. But for them to go under oath and say that these blacklists don't exist, well, employees like me are able to just search through the internal search engine of the company and see that they do is hypocritical at the least. And it's perjury at the worst.
Yeah, a lot of people ask us, what's the solution to this problem? Seems like what you're saying is the solution is to be honest about what it is that you're doing, at the very least. Do you think there are any solutions beyond that?
I think that Google needs to they've got a fiduciary responsibility to their stockholders to inform them of what the business is doing because they've invested into the company. And I'm a stockholder myself.
Well, Congress holds Google exempt, says they're just a platform. They're not interested in meddling in content or having an editorial position on anything. What do you say to that?
Google is playing both sides of the game. On one hand, they're saying that they are a platform and that they are immune from being sued for the content that they host on their website. On the other hand, they're acting as a publisher in which they're determining the editorial agenda of these certain companies, and they're applying that. And if people don't fall in line with their editorial agenda, then their news articles get deboosted and deranked. And if people do fall in line with their editorial agenda, it gets boosted and pushed to the top.
You're one of a few people who have come to Project Veritas from the inside. You are someone who very recently worked for Google. In fact, you were speaking to us while you were an employee. Should others at Google come forward like you did?
Yes, and the thing is that for the people that are inside of Google right now, there's a lot of them that see what's going on and they're really scared. And they see what's going on. They're like, what the heck? Like, this wasn't the company that they signed up for. And a lot of them probably feel guilty like I did. Like, I felt incredibly guilty working for this company.
You decided to come forward. There are people within Google who are maybe on the fence about coming forward, and as you said, they are afraid of what might happen to them or something else. What is your message to those people on the fence?
I'm hoping that those that want to do something are going to be compelled to act, and that we together can come together and defend ourselves in the case of litigation.
A lot of people are going to be fascinated by you as a person, you as a human, willing to do this. I harp on it because it's quite extraordinary to people. We get asked these questions the most. What compels someone to sit in that seat in our offices and to go public like you have done? I mean, some say that you're a hero. Some are going to say that you have extreme moral courage. Some might say you're kamikaze, or you're ignorant of what might happen to you. What do you say to them?
Here's what I say to them. You know, I always thought that when the time came to do the right thing in a big way, that I would always be the one that stood up and did the right thing. And I got tested because I was making a lot of money at Google. My yearly income from Google was $260,000, okay? Once you factored in the stock, okay? Wow. And so I had every incentive in the world to stay at the company and just click the paycheck. And I know that that's the decision most other people would make, which is just to collect the paycheck. But I could never live with myself knowing that if Google was able to implement the plans that they were planning, that I, at the moment of choice, backed out because I was selfish. And I didn't want to have that on my conscience. And I felt guilty. And, you know, people are like, well, you're brave. It's like the feeling that I participated in what they were doing was actually worse. I feel that when I'm coming and explaining what Google was doing, this is an act of atonement, okay, to make my conscience clear. And if I didn't do this, then I'd have to live with myself for the rest of my life. And people aren't going to understand what I'm talking about until they see the documents, because it's really that bad. You know, they can stop like one or two of us, but they can't stop all of us coming out and explaining to the American public that this is what's happening, that Google is not who they say they are. I've been living with this like burden for 3 years, since 2016 when they started changing everything, and you know, and to have that burden lifted off of my soul is, I've never felt happier or, you know, more at peace with myself than I have like right now.
How did you come to find Project Veritas?
Okay, Sandra, awesome. And then, you know, not to toot my own horn here now, but I want you to understand, like, I'm a guy that gave up, you know, a $250K net worth, and, you know, a pretty decent contractor job, and, you know, to basically start a media company, because Ron Paul was being censored. You know, because I saw where like they had him on the pie. It was the night I made the decision about it. They're watching, I'm watching CNN, and then Ron Paul had beat Giuliani in the, Ron Paul had beaten Giuliani in the New Hampshire primary. He came in 4th and Giuliani came in 5th. And then they had the pie on CNN with everybody's name in a different color and their percentage. And then at 4th, it said other, it was gray, and it said 8% or whatever. So they literally like, and then at 5th, it said Rudy Giuliani. So it wasn't like that, you know, okay, these guys don't get their names because they didn't get past 3rd place. It was that this guy's Ron Paul. So we're shoving it right in your face that we're not going to let Ron Paul get any name recognition. Okay. So that's why I started Patriot Camp. That's why I'm broke beyond all recognition, because when I saw that there was someone that was going to make a difference, you know, I went all in. Okay. So it'd be nice if folks would just go all in $10 a month for me. right, and become a constitutional enforcement facilitator. That would be freaking awesome. Okay. But this guy gave up a $250K salary and walked. I know you suffered and still do. Hugs. God bless you. You are brave also, my friend. Thank you very much, Scott Watcher Sandra. All right. But yeah, $250K salary to walk. And then I was looking at the tweets, and it was like he was like a currently working, and then it was like boom, it was like instant. Oh no, this was the one before him. It was like he's currently working, and then like in real time I watched the guy get fired on Twitter. It's like amazing, man. So we need more of these people to come out, and there is an abundance awaiting. We need to have an abundance awaiting, an abundant lifestyle awaiting honorable people. If somebody like this, right, I would be like, come on down, do your 20 hours a month in this abundant community here. Hopefully when we get it to abundance, right? And then, basically get you to a point where we're free. We're all free, bill free. Right? Because I'm talking about right now, excuse me, I couldn't hit the mic button fast enough. I'm talking about, and I have one actually over here because I have a new thing. So boom, right? Anyway, boom. Oh man, lost my train of thought on that one. Sorry. Anyway, moving on from that, I wanted to show you guys, this is the video where, okay, I was on, which one was this? One of the really, really big channels. It's going to tell you here in a second.
What's that? It's a long high drive back to deep left center field. Way back. Way back. What's that? A fence? You two put up a fence in deep left center field, folks. Oh my God! Vince Edwards robbed of a home run.
Okay, so let me read that. Let me go back to that actually.
Okay, what's going on, my
we
man?
can do that very easily on BitChute. I think we can.
Oh my God!
Okay, cool. So the following clip was from True Reporting. Was viewed over 6,000 times. I had 1,181 subscribers before the call, gained 24 subs by the time I got off the phone to 12:05. No subs from replays. Comments denied. Likes denied. YouTube is now the editor, decides what's fit to print of a media company, no longer a service provider. And I've been working for YouTube. And if I've been working for YouTube, I need to get paid by YouTube. YouTube needs to be sending me a paycheck if I've been working for their company and they're a publisher. Because I did not sign up to volunteer to provide content for YouTube's publishing company. Okay. I had another thought on this real quick. Anyway, there's also a YouTube version.
Vince Edwards robbed of a home run.
And here's my BitChute channel, guys. Boom, if you want to sub it up. True Reporting,
okay, what's
right?
going on, my man? How are you?
Right on, man. Hey, thanks for having me on. And I think it's a great segue from the guy that you just had on. He had a wealth of information.
Yeah, he did.
And most people don't understand what can be done with just a couple of witnesses in a court, for example. Like the government's coming after us, right? And they want to just take us down. And they're coming after us all one at a time. And we know everything that they're doing in these courts is fraud, but it's not getting witnessed to, right? And there's nothing getting put into the court record, which is the only thing that matters. Now, if you were to just file an affidavit of like for example, you go into a court and you're watching, your buddy, he's in there for whatever it is. They have no probable cause. There was no warrant, and he brings this up in court. Now that's in the common law judicial system. That's supposed to be case dismissed. Now, if the judge goes and says, okay, well, we're going to set another hearing or something like that, then you would want to make a note of that and say, look, there's obviously no probable cause. He's asked about probable cause. They don't want to present anything. So then you just file two witnesses, files an affidavit into that court system. The theory is, and I'd love to test it out, that pretty much the case goes away. And all the research that I've done, and I mean, I've done like probably 30 years worth of research into all of this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, you see people that get together and they either want, they don't like affidavits. They don't want anybody filing affidavits into a court. And the government will never answer your affidavit. So they're really in a catch-22 as soon as somebody kind of holds them accountable. So, I'm pretty sure the case just goes away. So, I mean, really all we're looking to do is just organize patriots into camps where, there's no hotline to call if your rights have been violated. There's no hotline to call. There's a hotline to call if your house is burning down. That's the fire department.
Right.
And they come down and they, put out the fire. And that's a tragedy and your house burned down and that sucks. But the next day you're like free to pick up all of the pieces, right? And then, and put your life back together. But if your rights are violated, then you're in a situation where like they've thrown you in jail and you're innocent. And you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, presumed innocent until proven guilty. So why am I wearing orange? They put you, it's the whole system is obviously stacked against we the people individually. But and that's the reason they don't want anybody assembling. They don't want any group of people. They're scared of groups of people. You look on YouTube, and anytime 20 patriots walk into a courtroom, that judge is running out of the courtroom. Okay? Because they don't want to have anything to do with being exposed in front of a whole bunch of people. And then another thing that you see that's common is that people like myself and others that, we defend ourselves in court. We don't get an attorney, generally speaking. And, they don't want anything to be seen. So they bring us in the afternoon at the end of the docket when everybody else has gone home. Nobody else is in there because the only people that are in there are the people that are required to be there. But what we need to do, honestly, in order to, the point of contact is the cop, and then where they get us is with the court.
Right.
So that's what we need to be focused on. And people they're focused on all this other stuff, but we need to focus on the cop and the court. That's where our rights are under threat, right? So the cop has an oath of office, and the court has a way that they have to do business. But we're not holding.
Instead, we're focused on the talking heads and the politicians, right? We've got our priorities a little bit backwards, I think, maybe, in my opinion. So I think we need to be focused on the cop and the court. That's how we establish our liberty, by making sure the cop and the court can't get us. Or if the cop and the court are, latch on to us, that it's like there needs to be a swarming effect, man. Where you have dozens or hundreds of people, even ideally, just start amassing to this one local. Somebody's rights are being violated, and then just magnetically attracts patriots to this location. That's what I hope to pray to God that someday we will have a Patriot camp so that we can just pursue our happiness. And public servants would never dream of violating their oath of office. They would study it on a regular basis. It would be very critical to make sure that they never violate their oath of office. And that's the way it should be. In America, the land of the free. That's the only way we're ever going to have freedom.
Holding them accountable, and that's what Patriot Camp is all about, bringing patriots together into these communities, teaching them about how government is supposed to work. These people are supposed to be our servants, and everybody looks at them as they're the authorities.
They're not the authorities, brother. You're the authority. I'm the authority. We the people are the authorities in America. This is the only country on the planet where it's like that. That's the founding fathers. That's what they gave to us. And that's why I was saying it's a great segue to me from that last guy, because that's what he was talking about.
Yes.
All we need to do is reestablish what our founders have already established. And that is, go back to the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, read it. You know, you got Amendment 5, no person shall be held for a capital or infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of a grand jury. So why is one cop grabbing you and dragging you up to a cage? Where's your grand jury indictment? And another thing, why are the indictments, why do these people have to be indicted? Why does Hillary, why doesn't some cop just pick them up for nothing?
Right.
Or why do they have to have all of this evidence against Hillary and Obama and all these other people when it's just, and they have plenty of it, but yet we just get picked up and put in a cage with no indictment?
Right.
Why are Americans, by and large, just all over the place going, why am I in a court right now? Where is the indictment?
Right.
Okay? So that right there is a stark, right there has to be like slapping you straight in the face going, there's two classes of society. They get indicted, we get arrested. That's what's happening. So, and the reason all that they get indicted is because they know that they have to be indicted. Okay? We don't know that we have to be indicted because nobody ever taught us that.
Yeah, people on the chat are saying we don't even have to be charged to be detained indefinitely, which is insane. I totally get that. Man, great call. You know, I'm rounding up the show right now. And
but it's our ignorance, man. So if I can just shout out my YouTube, man, it's /Vincible World on YouTube. If people can go and sub it up. I am so horribly censored, man. We are so over the target with this because they know that if this gets out, man, and shout out to Blessed to Teach and Law Dog over there too, and Rick. But listen, man, if we can make this happen, man, I just want in autonomous communities. I'm not looking to like be Ray Kroc here. You know what I'm saying? I want autonomous communities, and we just support you to self-sustainability. Boom, you're done. Get 20, 30 Patriots, staff it up. Nobody has to go to an hourly job, and so that you got the hotline. You can even get crazy with a fire pole, and everybody just slides down the fire pole and gets on the bus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm really serious about this.
well, I could feel the passion. I can hear the passion. And what's the address? What's the channel again?
All right, yeah, it's youtube.com/Vincible World. That's Twitter, that's LinkedIn, that's Gab, that's Minds. BitChute, really important if I could get some BitChute subs because the YouTube channel is so horribly censored, man. Look, I've been sitting at 1,200 subscribers forever, man. Ask like all my people that you know have been my supporters, man. And they're like, I am the most censored man on the internet. A lot of people will back me up on that. And you can probably figure out why.
Oh no, yeah, you know you're spouting truth, and I get it's Vincible on what on Twitter? What'd you say? Vincible what?
Vincible World. What we the people, we don't need government. We don't need a government anymore. Look, we the people in America. And I'm not saying we oppose them. I'm saying we employ them. These are people in the government. The government can't operate if there's no people in it, right?
Right.
So all we have to do is provide a better quality of life for those people in the government, and then it's over.
Yeah, man, I totally understand what you're saying. You're definitely being censored because you're definitely a patriot, my friend. But listen.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that, man, and I really appreciate you having me on. And again, if Rick and Law Dog, if they hear this, man, that'd be awesome because I might be able to get on Blessed to Teach. I'm trying to get on over there. Shout out to Space Shot. And, you know, all those guys on that side, all the YouTubers, man, we need to make it happen now. We don't have to sit back and watch and wait for other people to do it. We can actually do it ourselves. And you look at the Wall Fund, man, look at that, 275,000 people. If people want to check out my second to last bid, it's my Christmas video, the one I posted on December 25th. I'm talking about, look, if we can get 1% of
Okay, so enough out of that one. That was a good pitch I made, and that was a while ago.
into some remote location and be ready to answer.
And really should have got like a lot more hits than it did, man, because True is huge. That's a huge channel, man. I should have got a massive amount more subs. So we've got silver now. That is over 1720. Gold is holding steady over 1500, even with the massive, increase in the stock market after the big crash in the stock market that we had, right? So we've got the silver, the precious metals are holding high, and they're going to probably go a lot higher. Now, what does that mean? Am I giving you investment advice? No, I'm telling you that the time for a major problem that we're going to be having, this is a sign of a major problem coming. Okay. And it's probably going to have something to do with a lack of resources. So we need to get together and start deciding that we're going to provide our own resources for ourselves.
Such as derogatory name calling, elevated voices, foul language, whatever's been determined there. It can monitor for that and then detect the use of that by people in the home. And it says, in some embodiments, the contextual data may include the identity of the individuals interacting with one another. Accordingly, the system may detect the identities of the individuals occupying the space where the undesirable activities may be occurring. Based upon the contextual data, inference may be made that bullying and or other undesirable activities are occurring, and the findings can be reported or recorded for subsequent use.
At Ring, we want to make neighborhoods safer.
With the proliferation of so-called smart doorbells, police across the country are taking advantage of the access to video evidence. One America's Jeremy Hartley takes a look at what's being called a private surveillance network.
The Ring Neighbors app is a new way for neighbors to connect and share events.
With their popularity, these doorbell cameras have basically created a private surveillance network across dozens of neighborhoods throughout the country.
Together, we can build a smarter, safer community.
That the world be a much, much safer place.
No one's going to have any privacy in this system. I mean, we have all said stupid things that we do not mean. We have all said stupid things we don't mean. We've all had stupid arguments that we would be mortified if somebody else heard that information. And now we're going to live in a world where a computer is going to be using that and continuously generating information on that. And it's going to be sent to corporations who are going to be analyzed. I mean, why would anyone want to invite this into their home ever? Or the computer can now infer who's got a mental.
Man, okay, so yeah, we got to do something. I want everybody to start motivating, because I'm trying to save everyone from this, and the only way I can do that is to bring you motivating information. That we have a very short period of time to wake everybody up before they get either put back to sleep or killed. Okay? One of the two things is probably going to happen. And just another shout out here to Truth Stream Media, man. They just got the bombshells that come out all the time. So, without further ado, let's get down with the Hong Kong protests. Hong Kong police are killing us. This protester's holding up a sign. There's quite a bit of police brutality going on in this Hong Kong protest. Okay. And then Hannity put up something a few days ago about the Chinese riot police actually storming the Hong Kong International Airport here. Okay. And there you go. I mean, just hanging out, protesting non-violently in an airport, presumably, right?
Yeah, okay. As you can see, more people being brought out. So the charges going in, people being taken away, and then we're seeing more of the protesters rallying around, if you like, and trying to come up. And yeah, okay. As you can see, more people being brought out.
I'm not really seeing a whole ton of violence in that particular clip. But then we had this article. Is this the one where Chinese security forces prepare to use terrifying giant forks that give electric shocks on Hong Kong protesters? That sounds awesome. They're like amassing this very formidable force in the city that's across the bay from Hong Kong, Shenzhen, China. And it looks like they're getting ready to go in. So I guess they like just put all these, are they going to float an aircraft carrier over there and then put all this equipment on there and then float it over to Hong Kong, and then what are we going to do? Are we going to go and blockade Hong Kong? This is some scary stuff going on here with this Hong Kong stuff. Now, the next thing we've got here is you have actual pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong singing the national anthem.
All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the stars sprinkle then iron way? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Right on, guys. Hey, that was awesome. All right. Now, True News is bringing up something and saying that he was thinking that it was the CIA that went in there, and possibly maybe those guys are even maybe CIA handled. And then you've got Trump. So I just want to throw that angle at you. Okay. I'm not saying that's necessarily my belief, but I do want to report it to you because, True News is a pretty big channel. And Trump suggests Xi should meet with Hong Kong protesters. Come on now. Help me out here. To end the conflict here. I'm having a little bit of a pause with my computer. Stand by. If President Xi would meet directly and personally with the protesters, there would be a happy and enlightened ending to the Hong Kong problem. I have no doubt. That was one on his Twitter. Let's see, can I go ahead and grab that link? Boom, copy link address, and let's put it right in here. If you want to go ahead and retweet that, guys. Sing it, Vince. All right. Teresa, do you have text-to-speech on? I don't know what that is. I dubs yeet. I heard, don't know if true, that Trump said no tariff deal if China kills the protesters. I don't know about kills the protesters, but he did tweet something about China deal after Hong Kong, settles the thing, non-violently, right? Or actually, it wasn't even that. It was very, very mild with just a very slight hint. Okay. Let me see. It's on this page actually, but I'm having some issues. Come on, scrolling. Why is it? Come on. Yeah, my computer's being like really, really, really slow right now. I don't know why. Hang on. Let me see if I can shut a couple things down. I don't have Telegram. I haven't been using the Telegram right now. We'll throw that one up. Okay, we can close that. Maybe that will help. There we go. Haha. Okay. So he says, I have no doubt. That's just a copy of the same tweet. And then there was another tweet. Actually, maybe you have to actually go to the feed where that is. And then it gets to that. Okay, Sandra, I can't exactly update you totally on that. Oh, no, it was actually Teresa that said that. Trump said no tariff deal if China kills the protesters. That's a little bit more cut and dried than what he actually said. He actually basically just said, "Hey, he threw in at the end. He said, "Hey, why don't you settle the Hong Kong thing non-violently first, and then we'll do a deal," right? So what do we got going on now? Now I have a weird thing that's happening with my Discord thing down here. Like the tab was just like flickering, man. Discord is doing some weird, whatever. It's a conspiracy. I'm a conspiracy theorist. You can label me a conspiracy theorist if you want. But there you go. So Trump is talking about sitting down with Xi. Now, also, I want to talk about these right-wing groups and Antifa. This is just tonight. There's an Antifa clash. You got 13 arrested. It's nice to see that people are being arrested. Major consideration is being given to naming Antifa an organization of terror. Portland is being watched very closely. Hopefully, the mayor will be able to properly do his job. Awesome. That is 8:04 a.m., August 17th, 2019. 17 is a good day, isn't it? 17 is a good day of the month. And as far as I know, man, there's nothing new from Q because we have no 8chan still right now. And here's the 8chan. We'll go and see if we can. Well, I'll just go ahead and load QMAP because QMAP will load and it'll show you that last post, and it's just basically going to tell you that 8chan is down, right? So there you go. Same as it always was, right? C before D, coats before D class, and then we started getting some major D class happening here. Big stuff coming down in the next few days. Breaking: FTT Chairman Joe Simmons says he's prepared to break up far left big tech firms. Boom, on August 13th. That's pretty big. I would say that's something happening. Hopefully we're going to start doing that. And then you've got The Guardian reported on group of Google employees who published an open letter calling on their employer to cancel its plans to build a censored search engine for China. This was the latest expression of worker unrest at a company that earlier in 2018 saw thousands of stage walkouts over its handling of sexual misconduct cases. Google employees were very upset that Google's Project Dragonfly would allow the Chinese government to blacklist certain search terms. The employees said, many of us accepted employment at Google with the company's values in mind. What was it? Don't be evil, right? And then they got rid of their slogan. After years of disappointments, we no longer believe this is the case. I wouldn't either. I don't either. If you search Google for prominent conservative voices, including Mike Cernovich, Joe DeGeneva, Jack Posobiec, Gateway Pundit, you'll see hit pieces based on attack and hit pieces and biased attacks. Gateway Pundit is one of the largest and most accurate and most influential publishers in the country today. Yet, in the last month, if you search on Google for Gateway Pundit, the first item that it pulls up is a PDF of Jim Hoft's speech to Congress. The line item says Gateway Pundit Congressman Steve King. It is a PDF. This is purposely they're being linked to this Republican Steve King. And I can tell you this guy's like mad corrupt, man, as all hell. Republican Steve King, by the way. And then their first link is right down here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Google, man. You put Gateway Pundit in here. And you don't get gatewaypundit.com. That's obviously, this is ridiculous, man. Hillary Clinton smoking gun FOIA document shows FBI agreed to cover up and ignore all Hillary Clinton crimes in 2016 investigation. So we got boom, 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 all the way around happening. A plethora of new and unredacted information concerning the actions the corrupt FBI and DOJ took to cover up and exonerate Hillary Clinton's email crimes. What was released is truly shocking. A whole bunch. This is a big article here. I'm going to throw it in there for you. they're going down, guys. You're going to say the bottom line for you here. I'm not going to waste a lot of your time on it. People are going to jail soon. Okay. You heard it here. I'm telling you, you know, the time for reckoning for Hillary is coming very soon. Mine has as well today. Teresa says almost called AT&T, but it got better on its own. All right, just checking on that comment there. Let's see, back to the next part of the show here. We are getting there. We're almost, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes away. I don't know. There's lots of show here still. So that's like awesome stuff hearing about Trump. Just about getting ready to declare Antifa a terror organization. That's going to be pretty huge. They should have done that to the Weather Underground. And then, you know, maybe we wouldn't have like Bill Ayers now. I just wanted to shout out to you if you feel like buying an air compressor for PatriotCamp 17 so we can get going making aircrete and doing I could do so many awesome things if I had an air compressor. It was stolen from me, okay, a few years ago because I got put in jail for a Facebook post and I didn't take a plea bargain. And I just said, take me back to my cell, take me back to my cell. So if folks out there, you know, maybe you want to become a constitutional enforcement facilitator, I mean, 20 of them and Camp 17 is in the black. Or our expenses, Camp 17, feeding one guy right here, right now, and the internet is less than $200. We have no other bills on this piece of property. So anything over that is like icing on the cake, and we can start actually adding to this camp and making it more abundant and attracting people to come out here. And then you know, we have this force of patriots that are on site at the fire department for the Constitution, ready to go and defend your rights. That's what this is all about. Okay. So, and this could be a huge thing because this could always provide me an income source. Okay. This Craftsman air compressor, because I'm pretty sure I could start making and selling aircrete panels as well. Go check it out. There's a very solid market in aircrete for all kinds of stuff you want to do with aircrete. I mean, aircrete countertops. It's just another industry that we can have here at Camp 17. See, I'm not trying to build this thing that, you know, I'm not trying to get donations and build a media network and then just get more and more donations and try to just build my donation base to just build my one media network. What I'm trying to do is provide a actual donation base that's going to get this camp to full self-sustainability where it's not taking donations anymore. Okay. I'm sprinting towards that time when I can say, I want no more money from you. We are now stamped fully self-sustained at Camp 17. So you can help me get there. Now, once I get there, okay, that means all the future money starts going towards Camp 45 or Camp 23 or Camp, you know, whatever, a whole bunch of different numbers. Camp 7, you know, Camp 17's taken, sorry. Camp number 1. If you want to start a camp, it's really easy. You don't need $10,000, but literally if you had $10,000, I could design you a Rolls Royce camp and I would like come out there and work it with you. And you would own it. It would be yours. Shrieking reportedly heard from Epstein's jail cell on the morning before he died. That's a report from CBS News. Okay. And then you had one of Epstein's guards was not on the night he died was not a proper correctional officer. I'm pretty sure this guy was the Mossad agent, and also True News agrees with me on that one. We've got 3 Epstein lawyers challenging the autopsy results, and then here's the autopsy results right here, and I put up a clip, and it's amazing that this thing has only gotten 53 views. Because, man, this is like huge right here.
To report in the disturbing case of Jeffrey Epstein. His autopsy report reveals Epstein suffered multiple broken bones in his neck. What does that all mean? Joining us now with the full report from our West Coast newsroom. He's following the story. Our own Trace Gallagher. Trace.
Sean, the broken bones include the hyoid, which is near the Adam's apple. These types of breaks can certainly happen to those who hang themselves, but are much more common in victims of strangulation. That's not to say Epstein was strangled, but it does boost the level of intrigue, especially about the circumstances. Our corporate cousin, the New York Post, says Epstein hung himself with a bed sheet tied to the top bunk in his cell, but there's no information about how he did it, meaning did he jump, roll, or fall off the bunk. Standard prison bunks are 5.5 feet high, and forensic pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht is skeptical about the generation of force. Listen to him.
The nature of the hanging, no jumping and no falling through a floor like an execution, and no jumping from the top of a stepladder. There's no velocity. Where's the force come from?
Yeah, how did he generate the force? Epstein's autopsy was completed on Sunday, but the cause of death is still pending. And we should note the guards ignored Epstein for hours, so it's very possible he could have been hanging there for a while. Sean.
All right, Trace Gallagher, thank you. And tonight, we also have two big brand new
Now, this was posted yesterday on, I don't know if it was a day-old Fox clip or not, but I'm pretty sure it was at least yesterday or the day before. I don't think that they had declared, I'm pretty sure that they had not even declared, or no, it was actually a few days old because the first time I posted it on LinkedIn, but I'm pretty sure they didn't even declare him dead yet of a suicide because they were still in the process of figuring it's not like all these other ones where they just automatically come out suicide and they don't ever even bring out any other questions. So this thing is getting really freaking interesting. And what makes it even more interesting is you have 3 Epstein lawyers are challenging the autopsy results. So my question here is Epstein did he get switched out? Is he in Guantanamo Bay right now? Okay. And then the Epstein lawyers were trying to get him suicided, is what I think, because the Epstein lawyers probably took him out, got him taken off suicide watch, and probably somebody sniffed, smelled a rat when that happened. And they probably said, you know what, we're going to just get him out of there. And that's really what I think. I think Epstein is is hanging out in Guantanamo Bay right now. And you got the 3 Epstein lawyers challenging the autopsy results because they don't think it's the right body. And then you have on True News was reporting that some mystery guy it was showing up for the body, to claim the body. Now, Patriot Hour, okay, look, Patriot Hour clickbait. All right, I'm calling them out. Okay, look, you guys got to stop doing this, man. Okay, don't waste my time with literally an entire you put a video together that was 18 minutes long. This was the only quote unquote fact in your video, the Patriot Hour. Okay, and people say don't bash on other channels. Look, if I don't bash you, you're not going to improve. If I don't bash you, you're going to waste what? How many subscribers do you have? All those people's time, man. 18 minutes times how many subscribers? 100,000. That makes me sick to think about that. It took me 18 minutes to drop the news that was on Saoirse Fall's website. That's the source of your news. That there was the FBI divers recover human bones in waters off Epstein Orgy Island as deep state meltdown accelerates, by Saoirse Fall, as reported by our Western subscribers. I do not give any. This has no credibility. This website right here, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Now, speaking of fake news, so I'm just saying, Patriot Hour. That's not the first time I caught you running with the fake news, man, and a clickbait. And you do that, and then you seek to entertain. It's kind of disgusting. Okay. You're trying to fill up time. It seems literally trying to fill up time. Now, the Daily Beast New York Times editor, I found this just shocking and stunning and disgusting, is that they were actually upset and they were having this like some kind of town hall over the headline, which proclaimed Trump urges unity against racism, was printed in the New York Times, and then they're saying that was a bad headline, and then a bunch of people are coming down on him, and it didn't focus on Trump's racism, and it, like, oh, just here we go back to acting like Trump is a racist again. How dare you think that Trump wants unity when he's a racist? Is basically the fake news, Daily Beast fake news, New York Times fake news. All right. Chris Cuomo totally losing it. You got being called Fredo when it's not even an insult. This is just really entertaining. So that's the only reason why. Entertaining, and it's short. Okay, I'm not trying to waste your time, but 147. I figured it's worth it.
I thought that's who you were.
No, punk ass bitches from the right call me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN. Fredo is from The Godfather. He was that weak brother.
Did he just say
and they used Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN.
He said he was an actor on CNN. So he's not a journalist. That's actually the first. I just noticed that now. I didn't notice that the couple other times that I played the clip. Amazing. Come on, work. Come on. Don't be stubborn. Yeah, we got some stubbornness happening right now. Yep, of course, I'm buffering right now. I wonder why I'm buffering right now like that, huh? I'm not able to play that clip. All I did is backed it up a couple seconds because I wanted to hear that again. Okay, let's try it. Ready? Come on now. I gave it a rest for a minute. Oh, it's not going to let me play it. I guess maybe, let me see if I could just reload the page. That's funny. I love how the powers that be just want to keep messing with you, right? Oh man, hopefully a bunch of people.
I thought that's who you were.
No, punk ass bitches from the right call me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN. Fredo is from The Godfather. He was that weak brother.
Isn't that your
And
brother?
they use it as an Italian aspersion. Any of you Italian? Are you Italian? It's a fucking insult to your people. It's an insult to your fucking people. It's like the N-word for us. Is that a cool fucking thing?
You're a much more reasonable guy in person than you seem to be on television.
Yeah, but if you want to play, then we'll fucking play. If you got something you want to say about what I do on television, then say it. But don't call me a
Hey
fucking
man,
insult.
hey, listen.
What?
I don't want any problems.
Yeah, you're gonna have a big fucking problem.
What's the
It's a
problem?
little different on TV. Don't fucking insult me like that.
I didn't insult you.
You call me Fredo. It's like I call you punk bitch. You like that? You want that to be your nickname?
I didn't call you that.
You called me Fredo. You know my name's not fucking Fredo.
I thought your name was.
You did not think my name was fucking Fredo. Don't be a liar. You want to be a man, stand up like a man.
I'm standing up, man.
You want to be a man, I'm
Yeah,
here.
I'm standing
Then fucking own it. Then own what you
Listen,
said.
man, hey.
Then own what you said.
Listen, man, I don't have a problem with you, man.
Yeah, you're going to have a fucking problem.
What? What are you going to do about it?
I'll fucking ruin
Do
your shit.
something then.
I'll
Do
fucking throw you down these stairs like a fucking punk.
Please do.
Why, so
Come on,
you
you
can
don't wanna
fucking
do
sue?
that.
Yeah, you want to go, Cuomo? Let's go, buddy. Where? Anytime, any place, man. Come on down to Camp 17, Chris Cuomo. You think you're a tough guy, man? Oh, man, I love it, dude. That'd be awesome, man. I wish that was me that he was putting his finger. If he was poking me in my chest, dude, that would not have ended well for him. Yeah. Oh, you're going to throw me down the stairs? Come on, man. Throw me down the stairs, bro. Throw me down the stairs, man. I want to see you try to throw me down the stairs, man.
You don't want
So you can fucking sue?
Well, why don't you do
Go
it? then?
take a swing. You want to call me Fredo? Take a fucking swing.
I'm not gonna swing
Take
at
a
you.
fucking
I'm
swing.
not gonna
Watch your
swing.
fucking hands.
I'm not gonna
Take a
swing.
swing. Watch your
Hey,
fucking
I'm not
hands.
gonna
Take a
swing.
swing.
I'm
No,
not
come on,
gonna
boy.
swing. I'm not
Come on,
gonna
boy.
swing.
So you want to call me shit? Call me shit
Hey,
then.
listen, man.
I'm right
I'm not
fucking
doing
here.
anything.
I'll fucking wreck your shit. I'll fucking wreck your shit.
Stop.
You didn't actually Greg, you didn't know what you were doing when
I
you
thought
called
it
me
was your
Fredo?
name.
You didn't know.
I thought it was your name.
You didn't know, right? Hey, you didn't know what you were saying, right?
I thought it was his name.
I'm breaking it up.
I'm breaking it up. This is my body. Hey, look at all these cameras. You're in for it. You're in for it.
I'm in for what?
You're
You
in
call me
for it.
fucking Fredo?
You're in for it.
You call me
You're
Fredo?
in thought that's who you were.
No, punk ass bitches from the right call me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN. Fredo is from The Godfather. He was that weak brother.
Isn't that your
And
brother?
they use it as an Italian aspersion. Any of you Italian? It's a fucking insult to your people. It's an insult to your fucking people. It's like the N-word for us. Is that a cool fucking thing?
You're a much more reasonable guy in person than you seem to be on television.
Yeah, but if you want to play, then we'll fucking play. If you got something you want to say about what I do on television, then say it. But don't call me a fucking insult.
Hey, listen.
What?
I don't want any problems.
Yeah, you're going to have a big fucking problem.
What's the problem?
It's a little different on TV. Don't fucking insult me like that.
I didn't insult you.
You call me Fredo. It's like I call you punk bitch. You like that? You want that to be your nickname?
I didn't call you that.
You called me Fredo. You know my name's not fucking Fredo.
I thought your name was.
You did not think my name was fucking Fredo. Don't be a liar. You want to be a man, stand up like a man.
I'm standing up, man.
You want to be a man, I'm here. Then fucking own it. Then own what you said.
Hey.
Then own what you said.
Listen, man, I don't have a problem with you, man.
Yeah, you're going to have a fucking problem.
What? What are you going to do about it?
I'll fucking ruin your shit.
Then.
I'll fucking throw you down these stairs like a fucking punk.
Please do.
Why, so you can fucking sue?
You don't
So you can fucking sue?
Well, why don't you do it?
Go take a swing. You want to call me Fredo? Take a fucking swing. Take a fucking swing. Watch your fucking hands. Take a swing. Watch your fucking hands. Take a swing. No, come on, boy. Come on, boy. So you want to call me shit? Call me shit then.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm right fucking
not
here.
doing anything.
I'll fucking wreck your shit. I'll fucking wreck your shit.
Stop.
You didn't know what you were doing when
I
you
thought
called
it
me
was your
Fredo?
name, man.
You didn't know.
I thought it was your name.
You didn't know, right? Hey, you didn't know what you were saying, right?
I thought it was his name.
I'm breaking it up. I'm breaking it up.
This is my buddy. Hey, look at all these cameras. You're in for it. You're in for it.
I'm in for what?
You're
You
in
call me
for it.
fucking Fredo?
You're in for it.
You call me
You're
Fredo?
in.
To share with me. I know there's sound. Sorry about that. Yep. And there's about me 1 minute delay, so it'll take a while for you. Now I have my mic all the way up here. See, I was trying to figure out a different way to handle this part. You know, my audio is awesome. Deep smacks Vince. No sound. Boom. I ruined the entire show, man. It's just, I ruined the whole thing right there. Didn't I? By just not having any sound right there. Sorry about that, Deep Waters. Anyway, so Teresa, Sandra, whoever, if you're out there, if you want to shout out sometime, let me show you this, okay? Because we got Discord here, and then here's our server, and then you have the live call right here, okay? You would be able to jump in there and be my co-host if you want on the show sometime. And you can even do it with a voice changer if you want. I don't care, man. Just participate, you know, talk back and forth a little bit, throw a little comment in there. You know, that's really all we need, I think, to get this show just like boom, 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 boom. People just start watching. Then we can just start attracting patriots into Patriot camps. That's what Patriot Camp News is for. It's to motivate you to attract patriots into Patriot camps, right? That's what we're doing here. So anyway, God bless Sandra. God bless Teresa for being on the stream and supporting the Patriot Camp Network, because hopefully maybe at some point we're going to have some freedom. And then how much is working worth? That's a good question, right? EMP Shield,
That link is right down there in the description. If you want to make sure that your vehicle's working after an EMP, this stuff is actually endorsed by a company that does testing for the military. Well, then you use a voice changer, Sandra, if you have a horrible voice. Or you could just try you out, right? I mean, there's plenty of newscasters out there that wouldn't exactly have a singing voice. And right now, my voice is kind of horrible, but probably just because I've been on here for what? 2 hours and 11 minutes and 16 seconds so far. So awesome. We got over a 2-hour show in so far. I wanted to actually, let's see, jump into like just a couple of blurbs here, man. Like, yeah, do these blurbs. These, you know, all this thought. I could go through the main chat over there, the main discussion room in the chat. Me and Kristen had an awesome conversation this morning that I could go through. So it's not like I have a shortage of content. What it would, you know, it gets kind of old sitting here. I honestly, you know, for 2-3, you know, hours with just basically talking to a couple of people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you don't have to sit there and talk. Okay, you two don't have to sit there and talk. I got to keep talking in order to keep you entertained, right? So I could go on with a whole bunch more stuff. I could plan a 4, 5, 6-hour show. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So let's see. Entitled, Social Security number, PNG. Let me check this one out. Ready? Oh, actually, I didn't want to pull that up that way. Stand by. Technical difficulty. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Okay. It is not an entitlement if you have paid into it. However, it is a government mandated Ponzi scheme, he says. Okay. This is Doug S. on LinkedIn. And then I said, if you paid into it, you feel you are entitled to it. Boom. Now you feel entitled to Social Security. Now you're locked in, even though there isn't any money. There's no money in the Social Security number. You know that the government is going to be stealing it from other people in order to give it to you. They have to, because there's no money. There's nothing. It's just, it's all imaginary numbers now. Let's see, what else do I got for you? GALT VE. What is this one? That's yeah. That's a shout out to my buddy Moose, right? He says he's showing this John Galt speech, Atlas Shrugged Part 3. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Maybe I can pull it up a lot faster from my history here. Okay, John Galt, can we get it that way? No. What is it? John Galt speech, Atlas Shrugged Part 3. John Galt speech, Atlas Shrugged. This is really good. Part 3. Because I listened to this and I said, oh, that's Vince Edwards. He's like, what? He dropped the link. I said, hey, that's Vince Edwards. There it is. Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, Head of State Thompson.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight, I need to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thompson will not speak to you tonight. His time is up. For years, you've asked, who is John Galt? You've asked that question in despair and resignation as factories closed, goods became scarce, jobs disappeared. Your lives are becoming more difficult as the life force of your world is draining away. You have asked that question without expecting an answer. I'm here to answer it. This is John Galt speaking.
By the way, this is fair use. I'm using this. This is a fair use policy. I believe that this is pretty much a premonition for the future, that if people don't know this stuff, then this could possibly be a reality, a future reality.
Mr. Thompson won't tell you the truth about the crisis in your world. I will. Have you noticed that as everything around you seems to decline, one thing still grows? It is the power of your rulers. None of their plans and directives have solved your problems or made your life better. The only result has been their increased control over you at the cost of your freedom. Do you know why? You gave them the power. They called for your sacrifice, and you thought it was noble. They said if you worked for yourself and your family, that you were selfish and uncaring, and they made you feel ashamed. They denounced the leaders of industry as greedy exploiters, the Ellis Wyatts, the Hank Reardons, and again, you agreed. And then you ask, why did they and others like them disappear? I took them from you. Their achievements flowed from their creative minds. Once they understood that the attempt to control their work was an attempt to control their minds, they left. The people on strike worked for themselves.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Vision of what was possible.
Come on out.
They recognized the honor they deserved. They rebelled against the guilt you wanted them to feel for their success. You counted on them to keep producing, to keep thinking, even as you denounced them as selfish.
To keep turning your gears.
I showed them they were being punished for their own virtues. And I showed them how evil that is. I made it my mission to help these heroes say no. All evil needs to win is the consent of good people. They have joined me to freely produce,
the inaction
trade,
of good people,
cooperate, and compete in a place where the rights of all are protected. Do not try to find us.
Where the rights of all are protected. That's what I'm trying to do.
Get out of our way. To everyone within the range of my voice, you now have a choice to make. If you decide to support the notion of sacrifice enforced by the state, your game is up. Your world is in a downward spiral, and you will ride it down to destruction. But if you share the values of our strike, if you believe that your life is a sacred possession for you to make the most of, if you want to live by the judgment of your own mind, not edicts from the state, then follow our lead. Do not support your own oppressors. Stop letting the system exploit you. Form your own communities on the frontiers of your crumbling world. Your rulers hold you by your endurance to carry the burdens they impose, by your generosity when you hear cries of despair, and above all, by your innocence, which
That's
cannot
Teresa.
grasp the depths of their evil. The world you are living in is the world they wanted. Leave them to it. Those who have left you are eager to build a better world, a world of freedom and opportunity, a world based on mutual respect. In that world, you will rise in the morning with the spirit you knew in childhood, the spirit of eagerness and adventure, and the confidence that the world is what it is and is there for you to discover. In that world, you will not receive alms, nor pity, nor forgiveness of sins,
turn that off.
but honor, respect, and justice. Don't let the fire go out spark by irreplaceable spark in confusion and despair. Be sure of your path. The world you desire can be won. It exists. It is real. It is possible. It is yours.
All right, so I'm telling you, man, I've never heard this before. Shout out to Moose. And by the way, that's the Doug S post, okay, that I didn't show you before. So you can check it out real quick. And then hang on one second. And then he drops this in and I had to make a blurb out of it because he dropped this in my private chat. He says, "You will find this interesting." And then I went boom like that, and I went boom like that. I hit it with 100, and I hit it with an eyeball.
And then I said, "That's Vince Edwards." I was like, and then he goes, he hits me with the big thumbs up, and he goes, "Good night," with an exclamation point. And I was like, "Man, that's freaking awesome, man!" Right? What is this Atlas? I totally want to go ahead and play that again, right? All right, so now understand that I had never heard this before, and I'm literally like, "Oh my god, yeah, that's exactly how I want to say it," right? I'm watching this and I'm going, "That's exactly how I want to say it." So here you go.
Gentlemen, Head of State Thompson.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight, I need to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thompson will not speak to you tonight. For years, you've asked, who is John Galt? You've asked that question in despair and resignation as factories closed, goods became scarce, jobs disappeared. Your lives are becoming more difficult as the life force of your world is draining away. You have asked that question without expecting an answer. I'm here to answer it. This is John Galt speaking. Mr. Thompson won't tell you the truth about the crisis in your world. I will. Have you noticed that as everything around you seems to decline, one thing still grows? It is the power of your rulers. None of their plans and directives have solved your problems or made your life better. The only result has been their increased control over you at the cost of your freedom.
At the cost of your
Do you know
freedom.
why? You gave them the power. They called for your sacrifice, and you thought it was noble. They said if you worked for yourself and your family, that you were selfish and uncaring, and they made you feel ashamed. They denounced the leaders of industry as greedy exploiters, the Ellis Wyatts, the Hank Reardons, and again, you agreed. And then you ask, why did they and others like them disappear? I took them from you. Their achievements flowed from their creative minds.
That sent a chill
Once they
down my
understood
spine when I heard
the
that
attempt to
line.
control their
I'm like,
work
I
was an
took them
attempt to
from
control
you.
their minds.
That's exactly what
They left.
I'm wanting to do.
The
Sorry,
people on
just
strike
being
worked for
honest.
themselves, for their own vision of what was possible. When they recognized the honor they deserved, they rebelled against the guilt you wanted them to feel for their success. You counted on them to keep producing, to keep thinking, even as you denounced them as selfish. I showed them they were being punished for their own virtues. And I showed them how evil that is. I made it my mission to help these heroes say no. All evil needs to win is the consent of good people. They have joined me to freely produce, trade, cooperate, and compete in a place where the rights of all are protected. Do not try to find us. Do not try to bargain for our return. Get out of our way. To everyone within the range of my voice, you now have a choice to make. If you decide to support the notion of sacrifice enforced by the state, your game is up. Your world is in a downward spiral, and you will ride it down to destruction. But if you share the values of our strike, if you believe that your life is a sacred possession for you to make the most of, if you want to live by the judgment of your own mind, not edicts from the state, then follow our lead. Do not support your own oppressors. Stop letting the system exploit you. Form your own communities on the frontiers of your crumbling world. Your rulers hold you by your endurance to carry the burdens they impose, by your generosity when you hear cries of despair, and above all, by your innocence which cannot grasp the depths of their evil. The world you are living in is the world they wanted. Leave them to it. Those who have left you are eager to build a better
Leave them
world,
to
a world
it.
of freedom and opportunity, a world based on mutual respect. In that world, you will rise in the morning with the spirit you knew in childhood.
A world based on mutual respect and trust and honor and productivity. You know, that one's hard. Excuse me. That one's hard. Productivity takes self-discipline, right? So that takes a little bit of, there's all of us have to make some changes on us in order to be able to fit into this society that he's talking about, which is what I'm trying to create.
The spirit of eagerness and adventure, and the confidence that the world is what it is and is there for you to discover. In that world, you will not receive alms, nor pity, nor forgiveness of sins, but honor, respect, and justice. Don't let the fire go out spark by irreplaceable spark in confusion and despair. Be sure of your path. The world you desire can be won. It exists. It is real. It is possible. It is yours.
Hey, good to hear. Person one says, I used to hate Trump, but then I had a big incident in my life which changed my way of thinking. Awesome. Feel free to elaborate. I'd love to update folks, man. Let's say, okay with everybody in government is my next little blurb I want to show you guys. Let's see. All right. So they think, most other people, I can do whatever I want as long as I'm not hurting anyone else, and it's okay with everybody in the government. Marf is on soon. Will you go? Call in Vince. Oh, I might actually. Hey, you know what? Let's hang out until Marf goes online, and then I wanted to give Marf the shout out live on my channel, and I would go over there and chat on Marf's channel while I'm live here, and then I would use that to close out to the end of the show. And then go on over to Marf. What do you guys think about that? I was kicked in the head by a horse. Now I see eye to eye with Trump supporters. Oh, come on. That's unfortunate that you feel that way. That was a good one, though. I guess that was a good one, though. It's unfortunate that where it's coming from, though. Ayn Rand ended her life on government assistance. Interesting. If that's true. I wouldn't generally believe it coming from you because you probably believe in a lot of fake news. So just saying person one, I would say probably pretty much that's not a fact. I would actually have to go research that one. And I mean, feel free to drop a link down there if you want. If you're on D Live, you can drop links. I'm not going to mod you up on my channel, by the way. Sorry. Anyway, so right. So I said as long as I'm not hurting anyone else, and it's okay with everybody in the government, I'm saying, right? So am I wrong? That's what they think. You can do whatever you want in those cases. But at least 90% of the population thinks that, correct? And it's okay with everybody. A lot of friggin' people in the government. That's a lot of people have to then approve of your activity before you can do, and then you could do whatever you want with those exceptions, which is everybody in the government approving of your activity. So most Americans have been conditioned through about the last 5 generations to think like communists. Regulation of your private activity. What is that? How you go to the bathroom. I mean, my God. I mean, they figured out a way to regulate how we go to the bathroom. Think about that on a fundamental level. Communism, in my opinion, is regulation of your private activity. If I want to live on my own private property, I should be able to live however I want, and I actually lawfully can, okay? Because if I get into the codes with you, I'm not going to do it, but I'll just shout out to my particular county, Costilla County Land Use Codes, page 59, if you Google that up. or whatever, DuckDuckGo it, and you'll see section 8.30 right to inspect, and it actually they basically tell you that they need the application signature in order to come on your property. That's their warrant, is your application signature. That's where they don't need a warrant if you granted them permission. Okay, so understand that is how the communism is happening. It's these code enforcement offices all over the country that are actually all private companies, by the way. Understand that's what their structure is. So they're designed to make money. So again, back to what I was talking about in the beginning of the program, and I actually name, so I'm not going to name the particular government agency, but I just basically outed them just there, right? But it's like, hey, you walk in there and it's like, this is the permission industry. So, say, how much permission do I need? And you're open up your wallet like that, and they're going to go, I want that much, boom, like that, and take it all, right? If you're going to decide how much permission you got. So somebody's got to give me a shout out as soon as, can somebody shout out to me when Marv starts his program? All right, guys, I would really appreciate that. We got 6 minutes till Marv. Okay, so that's awesome. And I was just about to get ready to go anyway, so awesome. I'm going to go through a couple more of my blurbs. Boom. What do we got the next one? How you get freedom. Oh, this is a really good one. How you get freedom. Okay. If you can read, this is a big one. It's hard. This is going to be hard to read. Hard to see anyway, but if you are a county official and come up against me, you need to decide if you really want to put your job on the line. That's how you get freedom. That's how you get freedom. Okay. Well, Blue Bark. I'm talking about Blue Bark. Shout out to Blue Bark on Marfugo Discord. We, the people, need to stop asking them for permission to do anything unless we think we need it. I need water. I don't need permission to get it. These are simple base concepts Americans have forgotten. I need permission to get it if the faucet is on your property. Let me put in that disclaimer. But if I'm on my property, however I choose to get water is none of your concern, because it's not an infringement on your rights. Unless I'm like somehow tainting your aquifer or something like that, right? The bar is infringement of a right. And we in this county, so if I use the right pipes and stuff like that, then I should be okay. I shouldn't need a permit for something like that, right? We got Cindy Yang. It's true what he said about Ayn Rand. Hey, guys, if you guys are in the Marfugal chat, can you guys get a shout out to me to come over here and come hang out for just a few minutes? And then I'm gonna drop everything and go over to Marf anyway when he goes on and close out the show. I'm chewing up a little time to be able to give him a plug. Actually, I want to give him a plug right here on my show. So Marf on now, and I'd really love to be able to. And then if you guys can shout out in the Marfugal chat over there, okay, it would be awesome if you'd be like, hey, pull up PatriotCamp News right now. That would be freaking awesome if you guys would do that too. Okay. Let's see here. So, all right, let me get back to the blurb. Back to the blurb. Let's see. Is that we've got what? Ayn Rand right here, leader, sentence, second year sentence, Cindy Yang. It's true what he said about Ayn. Oh, we've got a gang thing happening here. We got 2 troll action happening now. Cool. All right, so back to the blurb. Back to the blurb. Okay, so right, where was I? So the bar is infringement of a right, and we in this country now allow anonymous complaints to trigger government action. Most of the stuff that government comes after you for, do you realize that it's usually like an anonymous complaint from someone? They usually, there's not another one of the people that initiates the complaint. So you literally live in a communist country by that definition, right? You have the government controlling your actions, without the necessary effect of another individual, right? That's not working for the government. That's another taxpayer, right? Yeah, call in. I'd love to call in. I'll call in right. Am I supposed to call in right now? What's the number, Skywatcher Sandra? I'll call in right now live on my show. That would be pretty cool too. But I don't know, man. That it's always full up. Ready? I'm going to give it a try. And then I don't know how good this is going to actually work. Well, I'm not on Discord. Oh, we're not talking about Discord right now. That'd be awesome if you jump on Discord though, Teresa. You gotta like have somebody mail you a phone. Can somebody mail Teresa an extra phone so she can get a Discord at, you know, get some? She doesn't have a lot of room for a Discord app. Haha. If you got an extra phone that you're not using, okay. So I actually tried to call last night and couldn't get in. Let me see if I can get in the queue right now. That would be cool if I could get in the queue. I'd be psyched right now. That's what I get basically all the time, guys. Marfugo TV Live. See that? Why am I blocked? I would like to know if I'm blocked, man. Since that, are they not letting me get back on there again? I'm starting to wonder. You see me trying to get on here, right? All right, so Marfugo TV is live. Let's jump on over there. Do. I gotta put that on my frequent links. I don't have it on there yet, actually.
Benghazi, who comes on as a friend, but it's people of that caliber.
I caught 22 for 400 and then lost the rest. Oh, I got the number, Teresa. Sorry. That is part of the number though. Yep. Yeah, no, I have it in here. I'm sorry. I forgot I already had it in my other phone that's sitting right here. So here we are right there. We got live now. Boom. And then this is Marfugo TV. I got a good big boost from these guys.
That is creepy. It says they will add several.
All right, the other day. And let me see who's in the chat over here, right? We've got, what's up, Fooglers? You are live. Ready?
They add that several contractors are competing for the CDAM project. And a spokesperson for the U.S. Army said, this is not an autonomous weapon, nor is it intended to be. So I don't get that, how it's AI and it's going to pick its own targets, but it's not autonomous. So maybe it picks its own targets, but then there's somebody watching it? I don't know. I don't see how...
Hey, can you guys back me up in the chat there? See if we can get a couple people to come over here to say goodbye. That'd be awesome.
That's kind of like you're running this. I don't get it. New era in munitions. The Pentagon will invest vast sums. It says we seek an advanced capability for a round once fired to continue pursuing a target despite the types of interference that may cause it to pursue something else.
So anyway, this is Mark Fugel TV, guys. I just wanted to shout him out to you at the end of my program here. And here's the link to the show, so we can maybe get a couple of viewers over there. Maybe just throw a couple of my viewers over there, right? Boom. That's the link to the new show tonight. And it is entitled, If a Snake Can Do This, Imagine Future Predictions. Awesome. Thank you, Deep Waters, for the shout out in there. And we're going to close it out, guys. Okay, so everybody can get over to Mark Fugel. That's what it was kind of like, you know, stalling till Marv went live. And God bless these guys because this is what they did. And let me show you this again, in case you didn't see the whole show, because we're over here on the Discord, and we have been, you know, sort of endorsed. You know, they don't necessarily endorse Vince Edwards so much, but they do endorse the PatriotCamp Project. Let's just put it that way, right? You know, making this happen, making it work. You know, trying to, you know, they endorse the experiment, and then there I am over here, PatriotCamp 17, in the Fugel family YouTube channels, and then you also have other like-minded servers. PatriotCamp News, and I guess I call in. I can't call in. So, I mean, if you guys would clamor for me maybe in the chat over there a little bit, then maybe I would be able to call in, right? That might be able to happen. So, I appreciate you guys very much for being here tonight. Sandra and Teresa especially. Great night. Lots of good back and forth. And that's another reason I want to have a co-host. All right. And then if you want to get Patriot Camp physical camps, the fire department for the Constitution started, then go to the Patreon link in the description and become a constitutional enforcement facilitator. All right. And we're going to actually build camps and move forward in this process of defending your rights, because that's why you want to donate money to a politician, right? And guess what? They don't care about your rights. They do not care about your rights. They only care about their bottom line, their own personal bottom line. And you're not going to donate any money to them whatsoever if your rights are not being violated, if you're content, if you're happy. So if you want to pursue your happiness, you want to make politicians obsolete, right? So, all right, thank you very much. And go on over there to Marv. I believe I dropped the link in the chat there. And we'll see you next time. God bless the Patriots.
If you want to be one of those people who shows up and we're considered heroes for what we do.
Help me, my rights are being violated. Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
Is that a plane?
How many millions of dollars have we wasted on these useless politicians? And how many rights do we have to show for it?